Oh. Let's see here. Adjust that light. Reposition camera. Autofocus. There we go. Cool. Not sure what the... Oh, I bet you it's because the window in the background's uncovered. If I turn the camera this way... Nope, never mind. Forget it. Okay, so... Got some modern decks I want to play today. Ah, crap. I mean, where's that list? So this list I saw looked kind of fun. It was like a Mardu Indomitable creativity. So it had 2 Emrakuls, Valakut Awakening, Cling to Dust, Kaya's Guile as a 4 of, Lightning Bolt, let's see, Blood Chief's Thirst, Souls, Swamp Mosquito, welcome, and Titan Valakut, welcome. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to my chat. I was I'm looking at this deck list because the clone from website thing doesn't work for me. So I have to look away from the chat because I don't have quite enough screen real estate. Let's see. Seize the Spoils? What card is that? There's an additional cost to cast the spell, discard a card, draw 2 cards, and make a treasure. Okay. We need some Thoughtseize, Inquisitions. So it's 3 in the main, 1 on the side. Inquisition. 4. And then Indomitable Creativity. And a Saheeli Sublime Artificer. Okay. Hey, the stream notifications worked this time. Hey, Anacker, how's it going? Exile Silverquill card. Which card is that? The rare removal spell? Let's see, Savai Triome. So we need Snow Covered. 1 Plains. Oh, come on. 1 Swamp. 2 Mountains. Blood Crypt, Sacred Foundry. Of course. And we need some Bloodstained Mires, Arid Mesas. Scalding Tarn. And Dwarven Mines. Okay. Oh, stream froze for a second. Okay, so out of the side we need Souls. Apparently the 4th one. Mass Hysteria. I don't own any Mass Hysteria. That's interesting. All creatures have haste. Obosh. Prey Piercer. Now I see where this deck's going. We need some Surgical. Looks like just 1. Chandra, Awakened Inferno. So that's big. 6 mana Chandra. We need 2 of her on the side. Timely. Only 2. Then 3 Anger of the Gods. And then 1, oh no, 3 Wear and Tear. All right. So this is the list as it was written up. I'm looking at it right now. The only card we're missing is a Mass Hysteria, which I should be able to get pretty quickly here. Mix'em, welcome. Yeah, I know. Almost 1K subs. We're at 999. So if you haven't subscribed on YouTube, please do so. There's one more sub and we get monetization. That is the last criteria not been met. Oh, it's 1K? I gotta go check. 1,000 subs. We did it. 1K subscribers. Awesome. As soon as this stream is over, I'm going to be applying for monetization. Nice. Thanks, whoever it was. Celebrations all around. That's super exciting. I've been looking at it all day, and it was like 997, 998, 999. Schlongus the Hedgehog. Thank you for following. Much appreciated. Oh, your name got me. I'm sorry. You're a wonderful human being. Thanks for following. His name is super serious. Shame on you. I'm just not familiar with the language it's from, obviously. What are the rest of us? Joe West, welcome. No, for real. All of you guys. That's a huge effort. I honestly never thought I would get there, and I had told myself I was giving myself like, we'll try this out for like a year or two, and if it doesn't, if we never get there, we never get there, and we'll do something else. But we got there, and that's exciting. Don't forget us all when you get hella rich. I don't think that's ever gonna happen, but I won't. Recall 33, welcome. Okay, gotta get this Mass Hysteria. That is, if I can find a bot that will trade with me. My goodness. Mix'em, thank you for resubscribing 6 months. You're a wonderful human being, and I appreciate your support. Sorry, my brain kind of locked up there for a second. I'm thinking about too much all at the same time. So, I'm going to go ahead and announce this now, while everybody's here. And I will announce this in Discord, of course. The next stream that I do is going to be my birthday stream. And that will be on the 27th of April, which is Tuesday. Yep, the actual Kano birthday is no longer a secret. It's not my birthday. So, one day before the regular Wednesday stream, I will be doing my birthday stream. Will you finally title the stream Birthday Stream? Yes. Yes, I will. So, consider that the announcement. It's not my birthday yet. It's soon. I figured I would give everybody a week's notice because it's a different day than usual. I almost thought it was going to land on a Wednesday this year, and I would have been like, man, what would the odds be? All this build up and hype. Love the running gags in this stream. Me too, honestly. It really helps a lot. Keep it interesting and keep me laughing constantly. It makes for a really good stream environment, and it's kind of the highlight of my week. Kano birthday go burr. The birthday. Oh, that's pretty good. Whoops. Why is this not... Why does it keep opening on the other monitor? Alright. We'll play first. We will reveal Obosh. Drop it. Oh, goodness. Well, we got a handful of hand hate, so let's go ahead and keep this. Tarek, welcome. Feel like you can see the facial gains from the weight loss already, looking good. I've lost 13 pounds in 12 days. Or 12 pounds in 13 days, sorry. No porter cam, still disappoint. I haven't had the time to go out and buy like a dinky little webcam to aim down at him. I do actually have a USB port opened, which tells me I've messed up my USB configuration since the last job setup, but... Yeah, it's actually almost too fast. I have to slow down here for a little bit and kind of stabilize at this current weight. Soon your nickname will be Small No. Dick Record, welcome. It is not my birthday today, but will be soon. Faithless Looting, Phoenix, and Brainstorm in. Honestly, I don't really see a problem with like card draw and card selection in Historic, but I don't know what they're trying to do with the format, and I don't play the format. Welcome, Six Sigma. I don't know if they're trying to make it like a fixed eternal format where like you can play lower power level decks or what the deal is. But if that's the case, you can either have powerful card advantage or you can have free effects, but you can't have both. And we're against Burn. So let's take Goblin Guide from them. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Historic will be vintage in 2 years. Screen cap this. Opponent suspends Rift Bolt. We untap. Draw Kaya's Guile. Play Savai Triome. Inquisition again. This time, I'm going to take Boros Charm because it's the most effective of all the spells. It does the most damage. Reprint the Power 9, you cowards. Honestly, if they put Vintage Cube on Arena, if they just wrote the code for the cards solely in Vintage Cube and put it on Arena, I would play Arena. I would play Arena Limited. Because Vintage Cube is so expensive to play on Moto, it's like $10 a try. And that's if you suck like me and you don't constantly like 3-0 like some other streamers do. Like if they put it on Arena, lower the cost entry, I'd play it all the time. Yeah, I know like Black Lotus and some of the actual other cards in Vintage are legal. Or not legal, but they were used them in events, yeah. Yeah, they definitely have the opportunity to do so. Also, I'm sorry if I'm a little bit stuttery or tripping over my words a little bit more. That's been happening a few days, and I believe it's a side effect of the extreme calorie restrictions I put myself under, which is slowing down today because you can only lose so much weight so fast, so nobody worry. How extreme is extreme? So, I went from eating 4 or 5,000 calories a day, sometimes a meal, while I was trying to max out all of my lifts, which was 3 weeks ago. I was like eating an insane amount, and I weighed about 284 pounds. Down to extremely restricted. I'm eating 2,000, 2,500 calories a day, and I'm exercising enough to burn 1,000 to 1,500 calories, or sometimes more than that on top of it. Yes, I am 6'4". And the I've been eating a lot of soup. I've been eating a lot of protein still. Don't envy my height. I hit my head on everything, dude. It's not fun, like legit. But yeah, no. So I literally cut my amount of calories in half and are burning more than I'm eating, to a pretty insane degree. Okay, we untap. We draw Blood Chief's Thirst. Perfect. So let's get the Goblin Guide, kill the Swift Spear, pass the turn. But yeah, I'm gonna close that gap down to like a 500 or 250 calorie loss per day regimen. So then I'm gonna go from losing like a pound a day to a pound every week or so. It's mainly the initial weight loss was mostly water weight anyway. Because I'm coming off of creatine and like drinking an unbelievable amount of water every single day. I'm just like cutting back on everything and focusing more on volume rather than heavy lifting, stuff like that. So just wanted that initial burst of momentum because I feel like I've been too big for too long. Kefka, welcome. Glad to have you. Opponent plays a mountain. Lava spikes us, leaving up lightning bolt. We untap. Porter. That's enough. Trying to get me to throw this toy. Oh, it's alright. It happens. So let's see, my opponent has 2 lightning bolts. So technically Thoughtseize gains me 1 life. Like right now I'm just trying to limit I'm just trying to lose fat, which even with the extreme weight loss, I've been monitoring. I've got this there's a electrode in-body scale that you can use at the gym that I go to. And it measures like your skeletal muscle mass and stuff. And right now, even despite the incredible weight loss, I have the most developed skeletal muscle mass that I ever have in my entire life. Out of all previous measurements, so like I'm not worried that I'm losing the wrong weight right now or anything. Opponent is top decking, and they top decked a Rift Bolt. We untap. Still can't draw that 3rd land for some reason. Real big now. Man, I think this... It's either the window in the background or... Wow. We have 24 lands in this deck and plenty of card draw. We just haven't been able to draw the 3rd land. If we didn't cast 3 hand hate spells and 2 life gain spells, we would definitely already be dead. Change your name to Big. Big yes. The mana screw. What is with this deck? Come on. We just need one land and we can start gaining a bunch of life. Sigma. Statistically speaking. Oh my god, Tarek. We get skewered. Land. Definitely PG-13 today. Getting skewered, getting screwed. Wednesday nights are the only favorite nights I look forward to. They're definitely some of the highlights of my my week. So we're gonna make a spirit token at instant speed to gain life now in case my opponent top decks a Skullcrack for the second Kaya's Guile. Next turn, I will probably seize the spoils, discarding Lingering Souls, so we can start cycling a little bit. You should put gets skewered or charmed. All right, seize the spoils. I have not checked the Discord to see the steak yet. Is the first time you tried to cook steak? First steak in sous vide. Nice. How many subs are you at? I'm actually at 1,000 right now. I will be applying for monetization after this stream is over. I don't know. I've been thinking about it for a while, but I haven't had a lot of extra time to generate anything special. But I am doing my birthday stream next week, the day before the usual stream. So if you guys want anything special, I'm open to ideas because I have a week to prepare. And I'm taking a couple of days off of work for birthday-related relaxation, so... Just be naked. No. That's not it. Someone joked I should hand out discount codes to my OnlyFans that I don't have. Yeah, what an amazing coincidence. A party hat. I could deal with a party hat. We'll attack our opponent for 1. Aetherworks Marvel? Aetherworks Marvel could be possible. I could see about getting a doggo cam. I was supposed to cast Lingering Souls there, I guess. Birthday stream in your birthday suit. It's just logical. I don't think it is. But what do I know, right? That's true. I actually still have them. I completely forgot those were a thing. So... You'll need to remind me outside of stream time, Joest. I also owe, I think, Bone Daddy 1 and Sigma 1. Could you do a Dragonstorm League on your birthday? I will be streaming a lot on my birthday, and it will be... that's the other thing, time for the stream. It's going to be throughout the day. It's not going to be just at night, so... We untap, draw Dwarven Mine... Do we have any creatures we can hit? No. Okay. Play Dwarven Mine. Get a dwarf. Flashback Lingering Souls. Sad Steve, welcome. Yes, I have shown my dog on stream a couple of times. I currently can't due to the position of the camera. Also the fact that he's not down here right now. What oh, these are the new spirits, okay. Alright, opponent's passing. We untap. We draw Arid Mesa. I suppose I should also probably put Obosh in my hand. Play Arid Mesa. I'm not going to crack Arid Mesa, though. Go to combat. Attack for a lot. Opponent goes to 6. Pass the turn. We're going to leave up Lightning Bolt plus Cling to Dust in case they do have a creature. But they seem to be pretty non-creature spell heavy. Skull Crack. That was what I was worried about. So opponent gets 1 top deck. And when are we not dead to Bolt? Never not been the case. It's only turn 11. Alright. So versus burn. Timely in. Thoughtseize is out. Soul's in. Another Thoughtseize out. I think that's good enough. We'll run it back. If you could have one non-Power 9 paper card for your birthday, what would it be? I don't know. My favorite cards in paper, I think I own already. It would be my all-time favorite cards in Magic are cards like Temporal Mastery, Omniscience, Enter the Infinite, Time Stretch, Time Stop. Like those are generally like my all-time favorite cards. And I think I have a playset of foil Temporal Masteries now. Because I used to have an all-foil Time Warp stack. Keeping this hand, just realized it's garbage. Oh, that's right. So the what's it called? I ordered some booster boxes, and I have 2 Strixhaven booster boxes and 1 collector's box that I ordered. And I'm going to do an opening, and I think I'm going to do an opening that day. Because that's the day they're supposed to come. I just don't know if they're going to be there on time for me streaming. If not, I can do it on the regular Wednesday stream. Kaya's Guile on top, so we're just going to fetch the Triome. Because it's a tap land, and we don't want to be drawing tap lands right now. That sounds reasonable. I'm just kind of excited to see what we can get a hold of, if anything. So we're going to go ahead and Lightning Bolt the Goblin Guide. And I'm doing this once again to play around a Skull Crack. Pass the turn. Hope they get there on time. The Historic Archive cards feel pretty hype. Yeah. No, it's fair. Oh, shoot. I forgot Inquisition's in the set. Alright, we untap. Draw Timely Reinforcements. Perfect. Maximum value Timely. Pass the turn. Which art do I like in for the Time Warp and the Mystical Archive? I actually both arts are very good, but I believe I prefer the regular, not the non-Japanese artwork. I'm trying to think of how to describe that when my brain isn't all the way operational today. That's why I've noticed that I'm a little bit higher functioning on stream when I have a bit of caffeine. So that's why I'm drinking the energy drink right now. It's kind of late in the day, but at the same time. Alright, we untap. We draw a Scalding Tarn. So play Scalding Tarn. Crack Scalding Tarn. Get a Mountain. And we're going to go ahead and Creativity. That's right. We're an Emrakul deck. Pass the turn. Is birthday stream drinking stream? Probably not. I don't want to throw off my diet that much, but I might have a glass of scotch that day. We'll see. I do actually. I probably won't have a glass of scotch that day because I have training late at night. And I cannot consume alcohol the day that I train, otherwise I will be miserable. French copies of the archive bolts. That's pretty cool. America's X#1 assassin and object permanence headache for string theory researchers. Kano, what's good? What's good is birthday stream next week, Tuesday. Not drinking on his birthday. Well, I might have a little scotch. I'm a little bit undecided. It's whether or not I want to cancel training that day, but I'm not drinking a ton because I don't want to throw off my diet. I'm trying to be really serious about that, and I'm the kind of person that if I go off of it, I will probably ruin it. So, alright, run it back. Emrakul definitely winning that game. Hangover stream next Wednesday? I don't think so. I actually did. After having, like, 10 days of constant calorie deficit, a buddy of mine came over and he brought me a bottle of scotch. And so I said, sure, I'll have a glass. And I poured myself a 2-finger scotch glass that day. And I drank it, and I didn't even get tipsy in the slightest. I just, immediately metabolized it for calories. It was really interesting. I've never had that happen before. And I haven't drank in a very long time. You're going to be scheduling a birthday celebration stream, regardless of your actual stream? It's going to be Tuesday on probably most of the day with some breaks in between. It's because his difficulty with object permanence extends to his birthday. Oh my gosh. How am I doing in the tournament? Orfeo hasn't contacted me yet. So I'm kind of waiting to hear from him. Or them. I don't know. Yes. I love the Dark Ritual art. I'm just sad that it's not legal in more formats for me to actually play it. Because I don't play the formats where it's legal. So we're either leading on Triome or bolting ourselves. And I think I actually have to bolt myself and clear this. No, I have to Inquisition my opponent because of Eidolon. If my opponent casts Eidolon, it's game over. We'll take Skewer. Pass the turn. Oh, am I going to have another celebration stream that's actual celebration? I don't know. Ginger Giant punished and swiftly speared by red deck. Alright, we untap. We draw Kaya's Guile. So, opponent top decked a card. They revealed 2 Sunbaked Canyons. So they're holding Sunbaked Canyon. They top decked the Swift Spear. So we kill a Swift Spear. Play a Triome. We don't have any main deck enchantment removal. So that's kind of a problem. Japanese art can only be with Japanese text because that art is so nice. Was that a thing? I thought the American boxes had Japanese art with American text. The collector's boxes, I mean. First punt of the tournament today? We untap. Dryad Mesa. So we need to fetch a basic mountain this turn. Opponent cracked Sunbaked Canyon and played Wooded Foothills. So they're still holding a Sunbaked Canyon. Yeah, we need a basic mountain this turn. So play Saheeli. Pass the turn. I didn't bring in Wear and Tear, so like I said, I have no removal for Leyline of Punishment. First I sided wrong, but then Recall did Extirpate on Bring to Light and only took the one from Grave and none from the deck. The Moto interface for that's confusing, though, so you can't blame Recall for that. I totally understand that, Dry Bomber. I have, my friend, when he used to play Japanese cards in Standard, he kept like a sheet, I think it was, that was like in a binder of like the 9 Japanese cards he had in his deck, but the English versions, so he would just flip that open and show his opponent that yes, it is in fact this card. We get Skull Cracked, opponent takes us to 4, we untap. We draw Seize the Spoils. Alright, so we are going to try Inquisition. Get a 1/1. It's a Leyline of Punishment. So then we Dwarven Mine. Get a 1/1. Then we Seize the Spoils. Ditch Kaya's Guile. Do you have your tournament round scheduled? No, I've not gotten in contact with Orfeo. Alright, well, we're 2 turns away. Opponent cycles to draw. If it's round robin, I could technically play any match in any order just so long as I play everybody, right? So opponent attacks for 3, revealing Bloodchief's Thirst. So chump. But yes, I will do my best to get in contact with them. Yeah, we've got to have some order. We get Bloodchief's Thirst. So kill Goblin Guide. Get a 1/1. Indomitable Creativity. Mega 1/1. Kill the Dwarf. That's pretty reasonable. Pass the turn. You can smell the charm. Yeah, we had a pretty intense Boros charm in one of the recent videos. I got a little upsetty at it. Aw, Titan Valakut, those are adorable dogs. Deflecting Palm? Oh, man. Monks are broken. Not gonna lie, took me a second to work out what that meant. Getting lava spiked. Going to 1. Opponent passes. We untap. We attack with Emrakul and get the flawless victory. It's a pain in the... Yeah, there you go. Alright, Mardu Creativity worked versus Burn. I like this deck. I've got a Phoenix was nice enough to actually he donated for me to play a league, and I'm gonna wait to play it so I can actually concentrate and play the deck for the entire league. But it's another, we'll call it interesting list. But it also has Indomitable Creativity in it, I believe. So this is the current list that I don't have on Stream Decker because I'm really bad at streaming. How much to own this channel? You'll have to ask Bone Daddy. And you probably have to buy it off him. I have to open a new tab. Stream Decker. Upload new. I didn't upload a null file. Okay, apparently thinks that's a null file. All right, I'm gonna run this through another couple of 2-mans. I think this deck seems like a lot of fun. Is it cheaper to buy the channel or buy Kano? I misread that the first time I saw it, and I thought you said crypto. And I was like, what cryptocurrency is he talking about? Kenzarith, thank you for following. Much appreciated. You're a wonderful human being. I'm going to try re-exporting that deck list, I think. ICO on Kano coin. Oh my goodness. Oh, awesome, Six Sigma. Wonderful. Congrats on the promotion. Apparently Stream Decker's not allowing me to upload any more decks. I don't know why, so I can't actually share this list for you. Bitcoino? Bitkano. Punt 0. Nice. Oh my gosh. Alright, I'd like to play first. We'll reveal Obosh. Derek. That should not have been as funny as it was. Alright. Group message can be shared. Y'all. Alright, we're gonna play Blood Crypt. Tapped. Pass the turn. Oh, y'all are wonderful. You treat me very kindly, and I enjoy all of your company. Opponent leads on Blackcleave Cliffs into Soulscar Mage. Okay. Into a Mishra's Bauble. Opponent looks at the top card of our deck. They see that we draw an Indomitable Creativity. So play an Arid Mesa, Bolt Soulscar Mage. Pass the turn. We're going to try not to lose life. Post 1k subs. What do you need for full-time content? Oh, gosh. A lot. if I was going to do this as a full-time job, it would have to be a lot. So I'm going to be working on setting up the Patreon because a few people have contacted me asking if I've got one. I technically do, but it's in a horrible state of disrepair. Ad revenue from the YouTube channel is projected to be on the low end $10 to $15 a month, and on the high end maybe like $80 a month. It's nothing crazy. All right, opponent plays Croxa. Forces us to discard. So we're going to discard... I actually think this Lightning Bolt? No, Creativity. So, crack Arid Mesa, get Savai Triome to minimize the number of tap lands in our deck. We untap. Draw Inquisition. I think this means I have to play out Dwarven Mine because I need to be able to Kaya's Guile. That can at least get me my token that I'm not getting off of Dwarven Mine. So let's see, opponent has Kolaghan's Command, Swift Spear, and Fatal Push. So take K Command from them. Pass the turn. Yeah, no, I would not be able to do this full time for a very long time, realistically speaking. That being said, every little bit helps. So every dollar that comes in already from donations and everything else realistically gets recycled into this channel. Okay, opponent tapped out to put a creature in their hand. So fetch up Dwarven Mine. Get a 1/1. Is Boros Prowess a thing yet? I recently found a list for Jeskai. It was Jeskai or Mardu Magecraft. And so... Alright, we got there. Emrakul for the win. It seems competitive, and it recently 5-0'd, so... How long does it take for a software engineer to retire? It depends. If you work at a startup and the startup blows up, you could retire like a year after getting hired. Like forever. Like you could be set for life kind of a deal. If you work at a big corporation, it's going to be consistent and it'll pay well, and then, however long it takes to build a nest egg to retire on. Versus my opponent's deck, what do we want? There's some notion for surgical here because they use the grave. Watched so many of your Tron to learn how to beat it at my LGS. I ended up making it and playing it. Ah, yes. Sad Steve converting people to playing Tron. What if I want you to get a specifically beer for yourself? If you recommend it and I can find it, I might go try it. The problem is I'm limited to the selection that the state of Utah purchases, because all alcohol inside of the state must be purchased from the state. Yeah, so if you buy alcohol in the state of Utah, you have to buy it from a state liquor store, which is sponsored by the government, managed by the government, and the prices are set by law. This is generally a negative thing because it makes it difficult and annoying to have to purchase anything, as you're stuck with like buying alcohol from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. only from specific stores. But it does have the... it does have one upside, and I've not gotten a chance to take advantage of this upside because I don't have this kind of disposable income. But because the prices are set by law, they can only sell for like MSRP plus so much %. So if you happen to find the state selling an incredibly expensive bottle of alcohol, like say like a whiskey that would be like $6,000 a bottle, you can buy it inside of this state for like $800. I've never been able to do that because I don't have that kind of money to be spending on a drink, even as an investment to like save. But it's something that I've always wanted to do before I move away. If I can find it, of course. It's also rare because people go out and they'll camp out and stuff for this, so you're not likely to find it, but it is possible. Oh, Six Sigma. Six Sigma laughing at me for playing Tron all the time. Finally converting to the dark side. Lots of my longtime viewers who started watching me for the jank content have been joking about me being a Tron streamer. Sorry, I got distracted because Six Sigma's direct messaging me, and I will have to respond to him later because I'm trying to focus on playing the game and entertain people. But a lot of my longtime viewers have joked about me being a Tron streamer because they used to watch me for all of my like jank magic content. And it's sort of true now that I am sort of a Tron streamer. That's like what I'm known best for now, which kills me because I used to be the Battle of Wits guy, at least for modern. But I've been joking that like I'm gonna subvert the entire Tron metagame because people are gonna come to me for, you know, oh, Kano, is this card good in Tron? And I'll be like, yes, Altar of Shadows is excellent removal in Tron. It's so. I mean, like, it's what people want to see, and to an extent, I have to cede that much, you know. And I'm not bad at playing it, so, and it's not like it's not unfun. I just have the least fun playing that. I would much rather play Tron than something like Esper Control, or, you know, that I'm terrible at, but not bad at playing it. Oh, sorry. I am above rock bottom at playing it. With that knowledge of jank card names, it will never happen. The cheapest booze here in Brazil is called Corote. It's like 2 reals or 50 US cents. What is it? Is it like straight grain alcohol diluted with swamp water? How do you get it that cheap? I mean, to be fair, alcohol's not actually that expensive, and I'm losing this game horrendously, by the way. Turn off auto yields. We're going to dump our fetch land here. And this is so we can cling to dust Croxa and regain a little bit of life. There's some French guy who consistently streams White Tron, so clearly people will sink to any level if it means they can have big mana stonks. Well, technically, so I learned this because I have brewed my own beer before, and I have never distilled. It's not legal to do so in the United States for human consumption. You can actually, under certain circumstances, distill for fuel alcohol. But where was I going with this? I was looking up alcohol percentages and what people could brew in beer, and during that amount of time, I learned that as long as your alcohol is, I think it's 71 or 73% alcohol, that's like officially sterilizing. So like you could use that to clean desks and countertops and pretty sure it's less than $1, and in Brazil that's antifreeze. This is for my tractor, I swear, Inspector. I honestly would not be surprised if someone has used that excuse and succeeded. Alright, opponent attacks us for 3. We go to 7. Never mind. We're actually taking 7 and going to 3? You can clean me out and then my coffin. I lost that medical grade sterilization alcohol in a boating accident. Yes, Mr. ATF man. Y'all. Welcome to Central Europe, where beer is cheaper than water. I mean, it's technically safer to drink than water in some areas because it's boiled. Alright, we untap. Once had a 180 proof liquor from Australia. That is White Lightning. Alright, get a dwarf. We're going to make them sack and gain 4 life. Hopefully try and stay in this game. And tried... Oh, that's Sean? You tried to make your own apple cider and blew up a glass jug of stinky apple juice in your apartment. Did not get your deposit back? Okay. Alright, I got a story to tell. So... the second or third batch of alcohol that I ever brewed, legally, I did so legally, you know, I bought the equipment from a store, it's not like it was all jank, I was of legal age to drink and all of this stuff. The second batch I ever brewed, I tried to make a champagne type deal, because I used white grape juice concentrate and diluted it out, made sure everything was sterile, and was going to ferment it using champagne yeast. And I was following a recipe to do this. But after... I'm trying to think. I had to leave. I left the state to go visit family, and so I left all of the stuff bottled up. And I was gone for like a month over Christmas. And when I came back, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. I need to go check on this stuff. And I opened up the container it was in, and I hear whistling. And I'm like, that's not good. I better check this out. And so I pick up one of these bottles, and it's one of the... I was using these like heavy glass soda bottles that have O-rings. They're like $5 fancy sodas. You can get them from the local grocery store here. And I gotten some to try and ended up using some for brew bottles because they have a really nice heavy O-ring seal, and they're a flip top bottle. And so I heard whistling, and I was like, that is not a good sound. And it was actually leaking air from the pressure inside of the bottle. And so I took it into my shower because I expected, you know, some explosion to happen. And I just went like this and flipped the flip top bottle open. And the recoil from the champagne leaving the bottle rocketed, like it was so much it pushed my arm down, and I was cleaning champagne off my ceiling for about a week. And there was this much left in the bottom of like an 800 milliliter bottle. Just all of it with the carbonation left the bottle in this like conical white light that was just champagne. It was actually spectacular. Did it taste good? Oh yeah, it was just overcarbonated. Why the hell did you carbonate this champagne so much? I put in too much priming sugar, which was a huge mistake. You should never do that. So when you bottle your alcohol for brewing purposes, you generally wait for fermentation to finish, and then you add a super tiny amount of sugar to the... You know what? I'm going to get greedy. No, I'm not. Never mind. You put a super tiny amount of sugar in the bottle after all the fermentation is done, and then the yeast reawakens and grows and creates carbon dioxide and consumes the sugar and whatnot in the bottle to pressurize it. And that's how you do it if you don't have a like a CO2 hookup and force carb stuff with like food grade CO2. Oh, you just mean champagne in general? Well, generally they put a lot of sugar in champagne because that's how you get the higher alcohol content. So if it's bottled at the wrong time, it does overcarbonate. Why not fetch another mine? Because I can do it at instant speed, and we only have Emrakul to hit off of Indomitable. Angrath's Rampage. So see, now I can fetch with Scalding Tarn, get a Dwarven Mine, and in theory, Emrakul survives this Angrath's Rampage. Isn't there a creature that wins just as soon as it hits the board? For Transmogrify and Indomitable Creativity decks, you want to use, like, Titan, basically, Primeval Titan. Opponent has a Lightning Bolt, and we lose. If you do an IRL brewing stream, I'll sub and support you on Patreon. I have gotten some interest in non-Magic content streams, real-life content, and I have a bunch of kind of off-the-wall talents, hobbies, and stuff, and I've not brewed in quite a while. So I'm not opposed to doing that. Provided, of course, it is legal to do so on Twitch. Brew some mead? I've wanted to. The only problem with mead is to do it well, I don't have the equipment for it. I can do it, and I live in the beehive state. There's a lot of good natural honey around here to use as your like fermentation medium, but it's pretty good. Be interested in that more than Binding of Isaacs? That's fair. Phage the Untouchable wins as soon as it hits the board. I mean, it wins for your opponent. Just change the stream title to Brewing and switch to Magic. Check out his OnlyFans. I don't have an OnlyFans. What supplies do you need? Basically, I just need I need a keg, and I need a CO2 canister, and basically I would force carb it. That, like, it works so much better if you do that for high sugar content alcohol, because the only way to get a sweet alcohol through brewing, because yeast will eat until either the alcohol content is too high and kills the yeast, and then it leaves the rest of the sugar alone because the yeast dies, or you have to kill the yeast and then back sweeten and add sugar after the yeast is dead. And that's the far more common way to do it. But if you do that, you can't carbonate with the yeast. You need to carbonate with added CO2. I don't have an OnlyFans. What I heard was untapped market capitalization. Dry Bomber. Oh, man. Dry meat is also good. That is true. What's a good card in Death and Taxes to combat Heliod Company? Isn't the 2-mana Flash Bear that if non-token creatures enter the battlefield and aren't cast, they get exiled? I mean, you'd lose out on your Aether Vial interactions if you did that, but that's a card that kind of strikes me as, like, maybe it's good. Hushbringer would help, but that's not the one I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of Containment Priest, Kenzareth, thank you. Okay, so it seems like so far you know a lot about alcohol. So what is your opinion on the biggest US beer brands? Almost all of the big brands roll up to like Coors or Anheuser-Busch. It's Anheuser-Busch, and then there's one other really, really big one. But in terms of like mass-produced, easily available beer, if you're asking me what my personal favorites are, Sam Adams Porch Rocker, which is a seasonal release, is really good. Sam Adams Nitro Coffee Stout is one of my favorites that I can easily get a hold of. It's because it's not carbonated, it's nitrous beer, and it's so smooth. The most, like, as long as it's cold, I'll drink Coors. On rare occasions, I don't buy Coors. It's just if it's offered. Sissia, welcome. Blue Moon Pumpkin, that's fall seasonal. That's good. What is my opinion on sour beers? Sour beers are delicious. I do not like sour IPAs because I do not like IPA at all. We draw Seize the Spoils. So, play Dwarven Mine. Dude, all this alcohol knowledge and drink Coors. Everybody can pick a cheap brand. Your first favorite brand of beer is free, and then after that you're allowed to have brand loyalty. We're going to, I think, make my opponent sack a creature and gain 4 life. That's like being a fashion guru and wearing Old Navy. That's fair. Stella Artois, I really dislike in every form I've ever consumed. If you want the best beer in the entire nation, and I feel qualified to say this, the best beer that I have consumed is not mass market. It is from Frothy Beard Brewery in South Carolina. They have the best small batch brewing, period. You drink Corona because when Fast and Furious came out, it was very impressionable. It's like trying to win at Modern and playing Jund. We're going to take the damage here. Corona is good for the first bottle, and then after that it gets skunky. Do you have a P.O. box so that I can send you some of the best beer in the world? I would love that. However, I, 1, do not have a P.O. box, and 2, you cannot ship alcohol into the state of Utah. It is not legal. So please do not try. Mailing alcohol in the United States is also a felony. If you use the U.S. Postal Service or really any courier service. People do it. I don't advocate that you try. Because it is illegal. So let's go ahead and seize the spoils, discarding Lingering Souls. How would they know? They check it. It's got to, like, stuff's got to go through customs. So let's Blood Chief's Thirst. I could seize the spoils again, actually, because we are trying to look for polymorph spell. You can mail live yeast samples. You cannot mail alcohol. And yes, they are different. Right now I'm drinking Bang Energy because I need caffeine. I found that I do better on stream with a lot of caffeine. So I probably have adult ADHD because I've recently discovered that I'm exhibiting a lot of the symptoms of that. So that's on my list of things to investigate. My poor liver, I've trained for years. It's not my fault it fermented mid-delivery. I wonder how it's legal. It honestly, if you work for an alcohol company, they have the law figured out somehow. Adult ADHD is so crazy. Check definition changes. I don't know exactly what you mean by that. If you never get around to finding out if you have ADHA, that's a sign. Nice. I know there's a lot of jokes about it, but... So, what am I doing here? Removing a bunch of my opponent's creatures. That's what I'm doing. Worst thing is, I think you don't know what you're missing on Germany. Yeah, no. So when international travel opens back up, because my financial situation is a lot more stable, I would like to go to Europe sometime, because there's a lot in Europe I want to try. Both alcohol, food, places I want to visit. Are you talking about cruelty to yeast, Sissia? Is Blue Moon considered Belgian? The same way that Bud Light is a lager, yes. Or not a lager, but like I don't even know what that qualifies as. Opponent attacks us for 2. We'll take 2. Bud Light lager heresy. Pilsner. I'm trying to think if there's any good brews in Utah that I really enjoy. It's been a long time since I've been actually around drinking beer. The one every time I leave this state, people want me to bring them cans of Polygamy Porter. So I have emptied out cans and actually taken just the can of Polygamy Porter from Wasatch Brewery. That's pretty popular around here. But everybody wants the can because it's like a collector's item. Alright, we're going to cast Valakut Awakening. We're going to wheel away this hand. Okay. We draw Inquisition and Indomitable Creativity. So, Inquisition. Let's take a peek at what's going on over there. We're getting K commanded. They're forcing us to discard a card, and they're killing one of our tokens. Discard Scalding Tarn. Reasonable. Reasonable. They're pushing our other token. So right now, if we draw a land, we can flashback Lingering Souls, cast Indomitable Creativity, and we'll win the game. Oh, that's Sean. Thank you for subscribing using your Prime sub. It is one of the best ways to to support any of your favorite content creators here on Twitch. So much appreciated. You're a wonderful human being. All right, Kefka. Can't promise I'll be around, but best of luck. If you want good beer, you gotta go to a local brewery, basically. That's your only option, really, if you're in the United States. There are some mass-produced beers that are consumable, but... So we untap. Draw an Inquisition. Opponent has 1 card in hand, so we'll go ahead and give him the old hand check. Take Angrath's Rampage. Flashback Lingering Souls. I don't think I've ever had... Do they make... I think I've had Shiner Bock, if that's related. I know a Bock is a type of beer. I don't know if it's made by that particular brand, but I think I've had that beer. It seems familiar, hazily. All right. Then I have probably consumed it, although I cannot recall specifically what it tastes like. Oh, okay. Then good. I have had that beer, though I do not recall it. Opponent fetches up a basic. Goes to combat. Attacks for 2. If I don't block, I'm dead to Lightning Bolt. If I do block, I'm opening myself up to Indomitable Creativity not working from a Lightning Bolt. If you can't recall it, it was probably great. Good logic. So we get hit for 1. We untap. Draw Arid Mesa. So what we can do here is we can actually double creativity to guarantee one of the creatures gets polymorphed into Emrakul. So fetch up a Dwarven Mine. What's the schedule for the rest of the night? I was thinking I might play some Strixhaven Limited because I've been having so much fun playing Strixhaven. I have pre-recorded so many Strixhaven VODs. Like, it's not even funny. I don't tend to play Isaac on stream because most people don't watch. Alright, shuffle back in our graveyard. Pass the turn. I also can't stand IPAs. I really, really dislike overhopped beverages. Opponent plays Luris. They can replay Swift Spear here or Carol Keep. They'll probably replay Carol Keep to see if they can't hit a lightning. Oh my god, really? Unbelievable. I'm psychic and I lose. Can anyone say called shot? Oh, jeez. If we can die to lightning bolt, we will. That's just how it works. So, favorite college for Strix, because Sissy is asking. So far, the only one I haven't gotten to play is Prismari. Because the cards for Prismari have not been open in any of the 7 or 8 drafts that I've done. I have really enjoyed one of the Silver Quill decks I drafted because it was like it was crazy powerful. It was like learning all these lessons, even though the lessons were like only marginal. That like felt like it just pressured the opponent from the beginning. So I really like Silver Quill. Quandrix is really fun if you get the right Quandrix deck because it's just like you ramp up and any board stall that happens you break because you have so much like repeatable like token generation and stuff like that from your rare cards. And I did cast the 6 mana mythic that makes a token the size of your deck. And I killed my opponent with Trample, and I'm super excited about it because that's the highlight of that stream or that video. I have not gotten any of the Dragon Mythics yet. No, that's not true. The very first sealed I played, I got Tanazir Quandrix, but that's it. Yeah, drafting the open lane in this format feels unbelievably broken. The removal is very high power level and stuff. It's a really fun format, and playing a format with Dark Ritual that's legal in Limited is hilariously good. Speaking of, I number 1 have to restart the client. So I do have a list for the Magecraft deck. If people want to see me play a couple of rounds with the Magecraft deck, otherwise I can play the Strixhaven. Otherwise I can play some Strixhaven Limited if that's what people want to see. I do want to play at least one draft of Strixhaven on stream, but it doesn't have to be yet. Best of luck. Be safe on your way home. Sign me up for Magic Man Magecraft. Magecraft is the Lumimancer deck, yes. And I can show you what the list I've got for it looks like before people make their decisions. Could play Storm. Oh, actually, I may not be able to play Flusterstorm. Orfeo, you and I have you and I are paired round 1 for the tournament. And you and I need to play our game. All right, don't hurt yourself. Yeah, exactly. So you need to let me know when you're available to do that. It's supposed to be this week. I meant to get a hold of you and completely forgot. Six Sigma tried to invite you to a group chat, so he sent you a friend request on Discord. It's being coordinated through that. Where is this? Okay, I need to get the sideboard set up for this. So Luris is in the sideboard along with Bedlam Reveler. Paths are also in the sideboard. And then Shatter Spree. As well as Surgical. And the Core Firewalker. So this was the Magecraft deck that 5-0'd. This is what it looks like. No worries. We'll get it figured out. And if we're expecting a bit of rockiness with this first little bit, so I personally am willing to be a little bit flexible on the deadline here. I know Six Sigma wants some law and order, but this is the first time we've done this, so I'm okay with it being a little bit out of order. No worries. Okay. So let me see what it's going to cost me to actually get the cards I'm missing for this. As long as it gets done, I won't care when. Fair enough. I just have to do it at a time that I am not streaming. That is my criterion. And I have to be off work, of course. Can't play Magic while at work. So Light Scribe is cheap. I'm like $40 away from this deck. Alright, I'm going to play a couple of 2-mans with this deck, but first, I have to buy some tickets. So y'all have to look at my face for a minute. Wonder if there are cheap instants or sorceries with cast triggers to abuse. There are 2 1-mana cards with Storm. So yes. And that would be Flusterstorm and Ground Rift. So then we just have to put our tickets in the binder. As long as Moto's not crashing here. Okay. Dude, it's okay, and we don't know the winner. I mean, even if I'm heavily favored or you're heavily favored, you can always count on me to punt it away. So... no Light Scribes, huh? Well, this is finally an excuse to pick up some Flusterstorms, and I'm pretty sure they dropped in price, which is kind of interesting to me. Is there any other bots that have Light Scribes? There we go. All right. So, we've got... where did I put this? was Magecraft. Jeskai Magecraft. Here we are. So sort by mana value. We have a very small, very small deck when you look at it this way. So many 1-drops, an unbelievable number of 1-drops. Oh, I have to change my lightning bolt art because they all need to have the same art. Well, nobody saw that. Cool. So it's time to see if this is a deck or not. I mean, it obviously is, but it's time to see if this is a deck that Kano can pilot. So on to Constructed, into the 2-man queues, and here we go. No Swift Spears. This is Magecraft. So the reason that they're not playing Prowess creatures in this deck is because while Prowess creatures have a lot of synergy with the same stuff that you're doing, you already have 12 creatures that work like Magecraft if you count Nevmagus Elemental, specifically for the spell copies, and it does make a big difference. We kind of ran into that problem when I was testing with it immediately before Strixhaven was released. What would be required to have gas playing in the background? I've never heard of that. Best of luck, Orfeo. You were all correct. Oh, good. I suppose while I'm waiting for the 2-man queue, I should have the list up. It's kind of interesting to me because when Nivmagus Elemental first came out, I had a buddy who frequently played it in a similar deck. The issue was there was nothing else that synergized with spells the same way, so it was very hard to build a deck around. So we'll start by revealing Lurrus. Is that lethal? 1 spell cast and it becomes a 4/5. 2 spell casts, it becomes a 6/8 with double strike. And we can do that on turn 2. If we draw a land, we could Flusterstorm and kill them. You know what? Sure. We're only playing a glass cannon deck. Kano doesn't know what he's doing. Go get him, Lumamancer. Pass the turn. Opponent starts Inspiring Vantage. Lava Dart. How dare they? I was F6'd. I should have Mutagenic Growth. Pass the turn. Oh no. Kano doesn't know what he's doing. And it is very apparent right now. Thank you, Tarek. Opponent plays an Abbot of Carroll Keep. Well, I can't Flusterstorm that, because it's neither an instant nor a sorcery, and I don't have blue mana. We untap, draw Nivmagus Elemental, So, play Niv Magus Elemental. Pass the turn. We made it 1.5 turns. Surely this is some kind of record. No, because if you remember, my all-time fastest punt was mulliganing twice when I was trying to keep my keep my hand. Opponent Manamorphose, sure. Forget the pregame punts. Yeah, that's punting before you even start. How can we go faster? Punt during deck construction, which has happened, actually, now that I think about it. Like, we played a Karn Great Creator deck without liquid metal coating in the side. Thanks, Tarek. I'd have to keep a 7 and not put a leyline into play. I mean, yeah, that would work too. Lightning Bolt. Tarek doesn't even deny it. Maintain priority. We can mutagenic growth and then eat mutagenic growth to make it permanent to keep our guy around. The problem is I'm taking 13 and going to 3. PTSD Kano is legendary. Alright, we untap. We draw a Lava Dart. So we Lava Dart here. My opponent didn't attack after all that? Attack for 3. Alright, pass the turn. Yeah, he used a Mishra's Bauble and 2 Manamorphoses. Oh man, I don't know if that was audible, but that was loud. I'm sorry, I didn't expect it to be that loud. If you guys could hear that. Opponent puts Luris into their hand. Must have gotten nervous that I could have pumped it higher. Maybe. Yeah, that's possible. Opponent attacks for 1. Alright, we untapped. Also, Jamatron, I don't think I wished you, a good welcome, so greetings. Glad to have you. Man, I really wish I had blue mana. Because I could gut shot, assault strobe, lava dart, and then Flusterstorm, and it would definitely be lethal. I think we do kill Soulscar Mage here. Which is unfortunate, because then I'm not making Niv Magus Elemental bigger. My opponent is going to Lava Dart to neutralize 1 counter and prevent Soulscar from dying, which is something I forgot they could do. Put up another punt, please. Thank you, Tarek. Alright, because of this, I now have to play Assault Strobe and eat it. Pass the turn. 1.27 punts per hour. Seems good. Opponent leads on Manamorphose, because somehow they draw all of them. I mean, if I ever draw blue mana, opponent is going to be in a lot of trouble. They crash through. Then they play Luris and Bauble. So yeah, opponent definitely could have had us dead, and a lot sooner, if they had just attacked the first time. Alright. Next game. So, Core Firewalker coming in. And what's going out? What do we lose here? We have to fetch for 2 Sacred Foundries. This will be fun. I think I trim a couple of Light Scribes, and then maybe a couple of Flusterstorms. Because we can't have blue and white at the same time unless we're Manamorphosing, so... I can see how our opponent wouldn't put us on 3 Fluster. Yeah. Alright, start by revealing Luris. No lands, mulligan. Ah, yes, the old Steam Vents Core Firewalker hand, mulligan. Okay, this I will keep. And I will put back... I have to put back 2 cards. Wooded Foothills and Mutagenic Growth. So we're going to lead on Core Firewalker instead of Lumimancer. Pass the turn. These decks make you realize how crazy Gitaxian Probe is as a card. Gitaxian Probe is the kind of card that everybody complained wasn't broken when it was banned, but I wholeheartedly agreed with it being banned. It takes a lot of the fun out of Magic when you know exactly what your opponent has, while looking every time. It's fun to actually guess what your opponent has. It's not fun to always know. And on a card that's as free to play as Gitaxian Probe is, it's... yeah. Every hand so far has had Lumimancer, Lucky Mulls. We got pathed. Gosh, Kano, you're so lucky. Opponent had the path for Lumimancer. Or not Lumimancer, Firewalker. I was looking at Lumimancer when I said that. They got their own Core Firewalker. How dare they? We draw Lava Dart, which, in all fairness, is probably not going to do that much. Let's go ahead and play Bloodstained Mire, pass the turn. Hey, a spell. So we need our opponent to basically attack with Firewalker and then somehow sneak by them with Lumimancer. I think. They hit us for 2. We pass, crack Bloodstained Mire, get Steam Vents, untap, we draw Gutshot, play Arid Mesa, fetch with Arid Mesa, get Steam Vents, tapped, play Lumimancer, pass the turn. Half expect my opponent to fetch a swamp and Thoughtseize whenever I put my companion in my hand. I know how you feel. Opponent Lava Darts. I could Lava Dart as well to save Lumimancer, even from a flashback. I think this is fine. The opponent's going to gain a bunch of life here. 3 mana, put Thoughtseize on top of your opponent's deck. Nothing more demoralizing than turn 1 Thoughtseize into your opponent having 3 bolts. I mean, I guess that's true. Okay, opponent used a bunch of resources. We only have 2 white sources in our entire deck, which means we can't play Luris and get back Lumimancer. We're in a 2-man, Clayton. Welcome, by the way. Glad to have you. Opponent crashes through. Plays a Bauble. Cracks Bauble. They hit us for 2. We go to 12. Untap. They draw a card. Play Luris. Pass the turn. And classes are more important, too. Opponent has a Lightning Bolt for Luris. Alright. Pass the turn. Oh, man. Opponent attacks us for 2, we go to 10. We untap and draw a Clever Lumimancer. So play him. Pass the turn. Opponent's going to Lava Dart. So I'm going to Lava Dart. Opponent can flashback Lava Dart. But they've got something else. Manamorphose. Okay. That's a fun way to die, so I don't recommend it. Opponent flashes back Lava Dart. So we gut shot. They have another Manamorphose. Opponent is actually playing, I think, Prowess. And they're top decking like a god. Alright. They untap, they draw. Okay. We get our last mountain. We have no more fetchable lands left in the deck. Cycle a Sunbaked Canyon. Go to combat. Hit us for 2. We untap. Draw Niv Magus. Opponent has a Lava Dart. Play Niv Magus. Opponent gains a life. So we can Assault Strobe. Holding priority. Eat Assault Strobe. So that Niv Magus can survive a bolt. At least until opponent casts a Lava Dart as well. Alright. Let's not queue against that person again. Oh, alright. What was that person's name? Trolling in the Deep. Alright. I think I'm ready for some Strixhaven Limited. You guys ready for some Strixhaven Limited? Because we're going to play some Strixhaven Limited. Add them to your block list. All right. Strixhaven Limited. Now, there are 3 really good spells in this pack. Urza's Rage is pretty incredible removal, plus also late game, potentially you can just blast your opponent out of the game. Generally, you can only do that if you're playing Teamer, though, because you kind of need to splash into Quandrix to get that much mana. Divide by 0, being a remand that learns you a card, is very good. Guiding Voice, this card is actually quite good, especially in the deck that it's actually meant for. And I could take this and cut white while passing these other cards to try and take them. I don't think Intro to Annihilation's first pickable. Moldering Karok is neat. It's a good card. I think I'm going to start with Divide by Zero. Rage is the also, like, potentially good, but I'm going to start with Divide by Zero, because I think taking Learn spells early is very strong. In this pack, Basic Conjuration, we could play Quandrix, and Basic Conjuration is quite a good spell. It digs you to a threat, gains you life, helps you delay, doesn't go in your main deck. Mage Duel is a very good removal spell, especially if we're playing green. Can we do a stipulation draft sometime where you just pull as many archives as you can? Like the archive stipulation? I could see that. I could see that being a stipulation. I am going to take the rare here. I think the rare is good enough. Mage Duel was the other card I was considering out of that pack. And then you get the classic Duress channeled. Yeah, no kidding. Okay, so Elemental Summoning is good, so is Cram Session and Mage Duel. Spectacle Mage is good, but I don't know that we're going to be playing red at all. I'm cracking the bottle of Morgan. Do not take much damage, please. I only promise to try. Elemental Summoning is another very good lesson, and I'm kind of hesitant to let this go around. I tend to not take enough lessons as I've been drafting this format, I've realized. I tend to get too many learn spells and not enough lessons, or too many lessons and not enough learn spells. So I'm going to try and draft a better balance. I think it's better to have more lessons than learn spells because that gives you options, potentially. But Serpentine Curve. Create a fractal creature token, put X counters on it, where X is the total number of instant and sorcery cards you control in exile and in your own graveyard. I think that's very good. Environmental Sciences is also really good. Life gain is a sip of water. Do not play a drinking game to me. I will feel horribly guilty. What's your stance on the campuses? It seems like they should be pretty good. I tend not to pick them high enough. But I only think you really need them if you're going to be drafting 3 or more colors. Oh, Needlethorn Drake here is very good. Out of this pack, I'd be hoping to wheel like a Whirlwind Denial or a Campus Guide, I guess. Whirlwind Denial is okay. Expressive Iteration could be good if I was drafting 3 colors. But a 2-mana 1/1 Flying Death Touch is a hard card to get around. I'm going to start putting these in the sideboard so I don't forget the lessons. Spined Karok I will take. Inconstructed, yes. For Pauper, they are pretty good. Yeah, we're just going to take the green guy here. I don't like Resculpt. It can be good if you can save yourself from a removal spell or a combat trick, but also exiling your own stuff tends not to work out well. I mean, yeah, because the only stuff that works off of exile at sorcery speed is the Stonebinder's Familiar, the 1-mana white card. Yes, if you draft on Moto, you get to keep the cards, provided it is not a Phantom draft. If it is a Phantom draft, you get nothing. I think I take Soothsayer Adept here. I'm noticing that my cards are getting drafted and that red, white, and black seem to be way more open. So maybe I should try and dip into Prismari and play red-blue instead? Change lanes if you want. It's not too late. I don't know if I want to, though. I'm going to take the Looter, because the Looter is powerful. Oh, good. It's not too late. It was just that particular pack. So now we have 2 options. We can take another Elemental Summoning. We already have 1 and a Basic Conjuration. We can take Field Trip, which is an excellent learn spell. It's Rampant Growth plus Sword of Draw. Arcane Subtraction is okay as a combat trick, but in general could be higher power. I like Field Trip, though. So I'm going to take Field Trip. Ramp is very important if you're playing the Quandrix deck, because there's a lot of stuff that counts whether or not you have 8 or more lands. There's a lot of mana-intensive effects. The blue-green Dean requires you to have a lot of mana. Yes, it is very good. We're hoping to pick up maybe... Kano's a schoolboy who likes going on field trips. I don't know about that first part, but field trips are fun. Okay, so in this pack, we could take Start from Scratch. It could be nice if we can splash for it to have an off-color lesson. Otherwise, we can take Teach by Example, Waterfall Aerialist, or Test of Talents. I'm not a huge fan of Test of Talents, although having one on the side if you come up against somebody who's playing the Dragon's Approach deck, which would be pretty funny. I'm going to take Teach by Example, even though Waterfall Aerialist is like very clearly the pick I should have taken there. Professor of Zoomancy is very good, so I'll be taking that. Yeah, I should have taken the Ward, but I really want to do something sweet with Teach by Example, like, I don't know, draft a Time Warp. It's a mythic, so like you can't expect it. But I did open one once, and I was so sad that I didn't get to play it. Nobody took Cram Session, so I will be taking Cram Session. This is a reasonable learn spell. I don't like taking Archway Commons for fixing unless you know you're in 3 colors. Yes, the new Rampant Growth plus turn your land into a dude is very good for polymorph style decks. Quandrix Campus. I will take on color fixing because it's going late. Ogiar Battleseer I would take if there was no fixing for me in this pack. I don't think Square Up is actually a playable spell, so I'm going to take Campus Guide. Campus Guide can act as fixing if you're desperate. Also, it is useful if we get something like Body of Research that's triple green, triple blue, to be able to tutor up a particular color of basic if you need it. Hall Monitor going into the side. I could have taken the Mind Rod as well, because playing the black-green deck is also quite nice. And Battleseer into the sideboard. Yeah, you turn it into a 6/6. Ooh. Alright, what do we got? We have Expanded Anatomy, which is a good lesson. Solve the Equation, which is tutor for a good, powerful spell. Big Play, Springmane Servant, or Witherbloom Command. We're not playing Mana Tithe in this deck. There is a Go Wide Tokensy archetype. If you take the gigantic black-green demons, there's a like Release the Pests where you sack them and gain pests equal to the power of the creature. Black-green is definitely the Go Wide archetype. So is Silverquill to an extent, but... Destroy target non-creature, non-land permanent with mana value 2 or less. Target creature gets -3/-1, or target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. I'm going to try taking this. I might splash for it. You'll regret not taking Tithe when someone passes Swords. Yeah, I'm going to take the command. I don't know if I'm going to play it. Tezzeret's Gambit. Intro to Annihilation. The Kelpie is actually really good. Draw 2 cards, then proliferate. We don't have anything that works off of counters, I don't think. No, we do. We're Quandrix. This card is excellent. Yeah, I'm gonna take Tezzeret's Gambit. Okay, we have Master Symmetrist, another Field Trip, and a Leyline Invocation. I'm a little bit light on creatures. Symmetrist is very good in the blue-green archetype. More ramp is never bad. And Leyline Invocation is a huge, huge creature. That face when you don't feel compelled to take rare lands because it's not arena. Exactly. My gut says Field Trip because we do have Elemental Summoning as well as Basic Conjuration. And then if either one of these cards wheel, I'd be happy. But if I take Field Trip, I need to prioritize getting more lessons than I have. Because I only have 2 right now, and I have enough learn cards to make it worth getting more, absolutely. Okay, there's another Needlethorn Drake, which I think is good, but only specifically goes in our deck. Somebody could take this. I actually like taking Elemental Summoning here. For reasons previously stated, I do want more lessons. Put that in the sideboard. Another Needlethorn Drake. My goodness. And a Decisive Denial. I'm light on creatures, so I wouldn't mind this. The Soothsayer Adept, I think I only want 1. Frost Trickster is good. It being a flying elemental lynx. And I wouldn't mind an Expanded Anatomy either. Because previously stated lessons. Decisive Denial is the card that we're going to see the least of because it's an uncommon. Needlethorn Drake is very good. It helps stall up the board really well. Frost Trickster is another flyer. I'm going to take the Drake, I think. Dark Ritual. There's 10 to the pests. Environmental Sciences or Scurrid Colony, as well as a Witherbloom Campus. I think I take Environmental Sciences. We have a lot of learn cards, and I do want more lessons. This also helps us fix if we are going to play a third color for something like Witherbloom Command. It helps us make our land drops. Triggers Magecraft, although we have none. Yeah. Put that in the sideboard. Okay, Cram Session is like the only playable spell, and I already have 1. So I guess I have to look into playing a third color, kind of. If that color is black, Rise of Extus is insanely good. Is New Mindrot better than Ashiok and 8-Rack? I don't know. My gut says Ashiok is better for the Search 8. Rise of Extus or Cram Session. I'm going to take Rise of Extus, and we'll look at being 3 colors. Okay, I really do desperately need to take creatures, but there's a Snakeskin Veil in this pack. Snakeskin Veil is like a crazy combat trick. So I'm going to take this, and now I'm really going to prioritize creatures because holy crap, I need creatures. Okay, Prismari Pledge Mage looks like the card I'm going to have to take. Expanded Anatomy I would like, but the Pledge Mage is actually quite good. Spiteful Squad is not a card I can play. Reject is sideboard material. Another Solve the Equation. Biblioplex Assistant can buy back a powerful spell. It is a colorless creature, so I'm going to take it. Letter of Acceptance is fixing. Especially if we're going to play 3 colors, it's good fixing. Soothsayer Adept, I'll take. Charge Through or Campus Guide. I don't think I would ever play 2 Campus Guides, and this is a very good Magecraft enabler, so I'm going to take Charge Through. And in pack 3, we're going to be looking for more creatures. We do have several elemental summonings and a basic conjuration, so I'm not super worried about being a little bit light on creatures, but we'll see. Crushing Disappointment. I'm probably, at this point, not playing black, but we'll see. If I happen to get like a random campus. Extus Auric Overlord. A third Field Trip. We don't... Field Trip, unfortunately, can't get any basic. If it could, it'd be insane. We don't have a lot of good mana dumps. We don't even have like a fractal summoning. If I'm playing... I could play black because we do have Campus Guide, Letter of Acceptance. We have like some reason to play black, so like Exodus could be fine. The other option is taking Expanded Anatomy. I don't think Containment Breach is good. We could take Agonizing Remorse if we're in black. Vortex Runner is a reason to go tall, and we do need creatures. I think I've got to take the Vortex Runner here. Augmenter Pugilist. This card is really good. Just a 3-mana 8/8 if you have 8 or more lands. So definitely taking that. All right. We have several good cards for us here. There's Aether Helix, Quandrix Pledge Mage, Biomathematician, Elemental Summoning, and a Needlethorn Drake. I think I take the Quandrix Pledge Mage. I already have 2 Needlethorn Drakes. Biomathematician is good, but I think Pledge Mage is better. If I didn't need creatures so badly, I think I would take Aether Helix, because it can buy back a permanent card. But we really desperately need creatures. Witherbloom Pledge Mage is playable. Eureka Moment is great. Wormhole Serpent. I think I would take this Pledge Mage over the Wormhole Serpent because the Pledge Mage gains us life. It's also 5 mana, 5/5 body. I'm passing like lessons and stuff, but I need guys pretty bad. Karok Wrangler is one of the reasons to be playing green. So I'm definitely taking this card. It's Magecraft, put a 1/1 counter on a creature you control, and you get to choose. Which, if we have things like Tezzeret's Gambit, is insane. Couple of good cards we could wheel out of this, but I'm glad that I am getting creatures at this point in time. I don't think we're going to be 3-color, so we're probably not playing those cards. I don't think I need another Teach by Example in any situation. Test of Talents could be sideboard material, so I'll put it there. We'll have to see what comes around, and hopefully more than 0 things come around. You can probably get away with less creatures if you have more token generating cards. Yeah, and I do have a couple of the elemental summoning lessons. I just like the last Quandrix deck I drafted, I did not draft enough creatures, so I'm a little bit gun shy doing that. Another cram session. Introduction to Prophecy, I don't mind taking. Black is like wide open at this point. Maybe because we have Witherbloom Pledge Mage, Cram Session, and the Command, I can take the Rise of Exodus, and we just play 3-color. Because Rise of Exodus is one of the best removal spells in the whole format, if not the best. Alright, I'm game. We're going to play 3-color. Another Environmental Sciences will basically be necessary to get us to 3-color. So I'm going to take that. Agonizing Remorse came around because nobody respects it. This card is one of the only ways to actually answer the Elder Dragons in this format, and I think this card is really good. Lash of Malice is a black card earlier than I want to actually be playing it. I think I take Containment Breach for the sideboard. I would play Agonizing Remorse, but we're going to keep the black cards to the top end of the deck, simply because it's going to be very difficult for us to actually get fixing for them. I mean, unless I'm getting past Witherbloom Campus right now, which I will take. Also, I don't know if people noticed this, but I got a last pick, what is it, Killian? The black-white uncommon legendary for Silverquill. He says cards that you cast that target creatures cost 2 less. That does include Rise of Exodus and Rise of Exodus targeting your opponent's creatures. So, like, I don't know why people haven't done that yet more. Needlethorn Drake is an excellent pickup here. That will definitely help us delay to the late game. Wormhole Serpent is just a dude. Tangle Trap, good sideboard material. 10 to the Pests, probably not going to be played, but we'll see. Essence Infusion I do like. This card can create huge swings of life. I think it's better in the black-white deck than the black-green deck, but I'll take it and we'll see what we're doing here. Sort by mana value. Group creatures separately. So, how do we want to do this? Serpentine Curve is actually a creature. Teach by Example is probably not playable. Divide by Zero, Field Trip, Letter of Acceptance, Rise of Exodus. I think I need to cut Charge Through because I don't have that much Magecraft on my creatures. We do have plenty of creatures, which is good, yes. Campus Guide is fixing. I don't think we want more than one Soothsayer Adept. Biblioplex Assistant is somewhat questionable. I don't think Wormhole Serpent we need. I don't think I need Spined Karok either. 3 mana 2/4 is reasonable, but I think I can actually play this deck. So let's take a look at what we're dealing with here. Add basic lands. No red mana. I don't need white mana at all. So if I do something like this, what does this look like? We would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 green sources. 9 if you count Letter of Acceptance. We have multiple learn spells across different colors. 1 black, 1 blue, 3 green. We can get Environmental Sciences, which is colorless. We have 4 black mana symbols to play, 1 or 2 2-drops, and then our top end. I actually think I could probably go down to 3 if I cut Essence Infusion. Although, should I be playing Witherbloom Command? It can snipe X1s, it can drain my opponent, it can mill my opponent, it can buy back a land. I don't know about Witherbloom Command. Do you guys think Witherbloom Command is playable in Limited? I don't know why I took it so high. I thought it was better than it is. Because for some reason I thought I could hit creatures. Alrighty, Six Sigma. Take your time, handle your stuff. It's a sorcery and it doesn't hit creatures. I mean, it does, but only kills them if they have 1 toughness. I think I'm going to leave it in the sideboard. It's a reasonable sideboard card because it kind of does a naturalize impression. If I cut Essence Infusion, I could run Spined Karok. I think I'm going to do this and drop a swamp for another forest. Just to make the mana a little bit easier. Worst command in Strix. Fair. I know that's some people's opinion. I thought it was better than it is. I can tell you that much. So, I may want another blue source. We do have a double blue 2-drop in Prismari Pledge Mage. Lorehold is kind of bad for 5 mana value. Oh, Lorehold Command. Yeah. Yeah. No, I get that. Maybe I drop the Pledge Mage and play Wormhole Serpent. We go a little bit taller. I think that's fine. Oh, I only want 16 land. Okay, there we go. I think this is good. Let's try it. Oh, actually, before I play, I'm going to restart the client really quick because it started the lag. So, one moment. I shouldn't have 1 planes. Let me double check the deck list. As soon as Magic reloads. I thought I took all the planes out. I do have a planes in the deck. Good call. Planes out, add an island. Is this the before game punt? Not quite. Thankfully, it was caught in time. Save deck. And I think this is reasonable, and I think we're good to go now. All right. Let's try it out and see what happens. I got a good feeling about this deck. Goes 0-3. That seems to be the running theme. Whenever I have a good feeling about a deck, it's bad. And whenever I have a bad feeling about a deck, it's good. All right. Here we go. I would love to play first. This seems like a reasonable hand. We got a good curve. So lead on Forest, pass the turn. Opponent leads on Plains, plays a Star Pupil. We untap and draw another Needlethorn Drake. Play Needlethorn Drake, pass the turn. Opponent untaps, plays a Swamp, plays a Leech Fanatic. Doubting yourself to make your opponent feel bad and letting you win. We draw a Forest. All right. Go to combat. Attack for 1. And then we will play Vortex Runner. Vortex Runner should stop Leech Fanatic from attacking unless my opponent does have a combat trick, which Silverquill has plenty of. Opponent plays a Callous Blood Mage, which they can use to make a pest, but they use to lose a life and draw a card. Reasonable. Okay. Vortex Runner doing well to hold back the tide at the moment. Play an island, go to combat. Attack for 1. Head our opponent down to 17. We'll play Professor of Zoomancy. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a swamp. They play Dramatic Finale. Whenever one or more of your non-token creatures dies, create a 2/1 white and black Inkling creature token with flying. Alright, we'll give them the flying creature. We untap. Draw Karok Wrangler. Play a forest. Go to combat. I am going to attack for 1 and offer the trade here with the Inkling token. Opponent does not take it. In that case, we're going to play the Letter of Acceptance and our other Needlethorn Drake. Pass the turn. Star Pupil is going to be a lot of value, ain't it? Yeah. I actually really, really like this card in the Silver Quill deck. For limited, I should say. Modular is a powerful mechanic, and it has it. Spiteful Squad is one of the, like, premier white and black cards, too. I think I am going to trade off with the Inkling here. Yeah. Because we can't race that right now. We'll take 1. We get Tezzeret's Gambit. So, play out Karok Wrangler. Go to combat. Attack for 1. We can just turn the 1/1 Death Touch Flyer into a medium by which we can, like, get a huge number of 1/1 counters on it and stuff. Opponent attacks for 2. No blocks. No reason to. Take 2. 4 mana. Opponent plays a second Spiteful Squad. We untap and draw a Swamp. So, cast Tezzeret's Gambit. Counter on Needlethorn Drake. Then we draw 2 cards, proliferate here. Get a Field Trip. Play a Swamp. Go to combat. Hit them for... Oh, I should have cast Field Trip beforehand. That was a mistake. Because Field Trip puts another counter on the Drake. Cast Field Trip, another counter here. Get a forest, and we learn Basic Conjuration. Pass the turn. I could have gotten Environmental Sciences and made Vortex Runner unblockable. Two mana for the opponent. They play Eager First Year. That card is definitely better in the Lorehold deck. They attack us for 4. That's fine. We don't care. We're just trying to avoid our opponent having flyers and survive. Opponent plays Professor of Symbology. So they get to tutor out a Pest Summoning. We untap. Draw Needlethorn Drake. Basic Conjuration. Counter on Needlethorn Drake. Get a Biblioplex Assistant. Gain 3 life. Go to combat. Attack for 5 in the air. Hit our opponent down to 9. And I think what we do is play Biblioplex Assistant. And we're going to put back either Field Trip, Tezzeret's Gambit. I think we put back Tezzeret's Gambit. Because the Proliferate is going to kill our opponent incredibly fast. Opponent plays Pest Summoning. They get to make some pests. I was gonna say if I was my opponent, I would be attacking a lot more aggressively. We're gonna block here with a pest just to gain 1 life and offset the damage slightly. It's the one block we can make without what was I gonna say? Without killing one of my opponent's creatures and making a flying blocker. So play Tezzeret's Gambit, counter on Biblioplex Assistant. We draw, proliferate, putting counters on each. Play an island, play Serpentine Curve. All right. That was lethal. I guess I was about to show my opponent a card that we didn't need to show them, but that worked quite well. I'm very happy with how that worked out. I don't think we make any adjustments for our opponent's aggro deck. I could bring in Witherbloom Command because it does actually kill stuff. I could bring in Essence Infusion because the lifelink could matter. But honestly, I think I just run it back. This deck seems sick. Definitely going to keep this one. Opponent leads on planes. Plays a Star Pupil. We untap. Draw Spined Karok. Play a forest. Pass the turn. Punchy boy. Augmenter Pugilist. Opponent plays a swamp. Hits us for 1. We untap. Draw an island. Play an island. Play Needlethorn Drake. Pass the turn. Opponent Nightmare Lash. Or Lash of Malice. I keep calling that card Nightmare Lash, which I think is a different card. I think that's an equipment from Mirrodin, isn't it? We draw Witherbloom Pledge Mage. So play an island. Play Spined Karok. What I don't get in terms of lore, archive cards are spells the college stored in books. So why is a spell of Tezzeret, a Servant of Bolas, have a spell in their archive if he's evil? So the archive is the educational... it's kind of like the educational ideal, right? Like, knowledge is not inherently good or evil, but it can be applied for that. And it's stored in the Biblioplex, which is like their Library of Alexandria. And some knowledge is forbidden if you read the flavor text on the... I don't remember if it's Village Rites. I think it's Village Rites. Or one of the Wraths, like Day of Judgment. So we're going to play an island, and I think we play Letter of Acceptance here. If my opponent attacks with Star Pupil, I will block it. They'll stack the counters on Spiteful Squad, which gives us a good target for Divide by Zero. Then we could go get our Lay of the Land Environmental Sciences, so we could get a second forest, play Augmenter Pugilist, that sort of thing. Sacrificing the eager first years to Village Rites, is that fraternity hazing? I think that goes a little bit beyond hazing. And kind of just murder. So opponent gets a third counter on Spiteful. Pillar Drop Rescuer, they pick up Star Pupil, excuse me. We untap. We draw Needlethorn Drake. So go to combat. Attack for 2. We can't block Pillar Drop Rescuer because of flying anyway. So let's go ahead and divide by 0. We'll get Environmental Sciences. And I am going to play out Needlethorn Drake just so we have the option of blocking here if we want. That makes sense. I wonder what cards they'd add in an eventual return to this set, because I feel like this set is popular enough that they will do a return eventually. We draw a forest, so play a forest, and we're going to play the Pledge Mage first. This card very much discourages attacking. I could start attacking in the air with Needlethorn Drake, but I actually think the Death Touch is... They should make a silver bordered card called Alles Ducks. I mean, that's kind of like sudden spoiling. Baleful Mastery, they exile our 1/1 Death Touch. We untap, draw Field Trip. It is just Tarkir 2.0. I mean, yeah, I guess. So, gain some life here. I mean, it's low-powered for Standard. It's a really fun set with a really good theme. We're going to play Augmenter Pugilist and pass. That's the problem when the power level pendulum swings all the way to the end of power. The set that happens in warps all of Standard for a very long time. It's kind of a similar problem to what we saw in Mirrodin, though not as extreme. And not as extreme as what happened in like Urza's block. They could do rival schools with allied colors. Yeah, I wonder what the extended lore is for the whole plane, because I actually don't know that there's much of it. Okay, we play an island. We field trip. Gain a life. Put a forest into play, and we can get elemental summoning or basic conjuration. I think basic conjuration is probably better than just making a 4/4. Do we have any other really good creatures? I'm going to take the conjuration. And then we're going to play out Wormhole Serpent, not Servant. Because now we can start making Augmenter Pugilist unblockable. And that seems pretty good. 3 mana, 8/8. So opponent has to have some pretty good premium removal here. Okay, they do have Closing Statement, and they don't even wait till their own end step to do it. Alright, we untap. Well, no problem. Thanks, Odette Sean, for stopping by. It was good to have you, and thank you again for subscribing today. Much appreciated. And I hope to see you again next time. Basic Conjuration. Let's see what we get here. Soothsayer Adept helps us dig through our deck. Professor of Zoomancy doesn't help block or anything. I'm going to take the Soothsayer. Also, I probably should have started by sacking this. Okay, we draw Rise of Extus, and I just got rid of one of my black sources, so I feel like a genius. Pass the turn. We just need to get rid of their Death Toucher. When it goes to combat, hits us for 4. Take 4, go to 10. They play a Spectre of the Fens. We untap. Draw Biblioplex Assistant. Okay. So play Biblioplex Assistant. And we're going to put Divide by 0 on top of our deck. Pass the turn. It's going well so far. Opponent plays a land. They go to combat. They attack in the air for 6 and on the ground for 1. Block here. Just thought of something. So if Ugin died and the Dragon Tempest died out on Tarkir, but now that Ugin is no longer on Tarkir because of the war events, is Tempest dead again? Possibly. if we get a return to Tarkir, that would be an interesting plot point for them to explore. If I bounce this, they get to pick up a creature, but they don't even have a creature right now. We're going to ditch Rise of Extus, because we have to. No worries, man. I hope it went well for him. I'm gonna get environmental sciences here, I think. We kill the star pupil, they get to move the 1/1 counter, we take 2. So they put the 1/1 counter on their flyer. Opponent plays Pillar Drop Rescuer, picks up Star Pupil. Okay. So it's just like a free extra 1/1 counter there. Alright, we untap. We draw an island. So, actually, we start by casting Environmental Sciences. Gaining life. Now we loot. We get a field trip, discard the island, play the swamp, field trip. We get to learn. Well, we get to get our last forest. Containment Breach doesn't seem useful, but we will get elemental summoning. I should probably just start attacking. Yeah, go to combat. Opponent's going to have to block with their Death Touch guy. Kano, what do I want for my birthday? You know, there's not a lot that I need. So honestly, I just want to hang out with people while I stream. I don't really need items or money or anything like that, really. Opponent's going to attack us for 8 in the air. That's a pretty punishing blow. What do I want? This is the worst question for me. Opponent has another Pillar Drop Rescuer, repicks up Star Pupil. That's a bit of an issue. I think I've lost this game. Victory over this draft, world peace. Cram Session. So Cram Session, gain a bunch of life. Tutor for Elemental Summoning. Play Elemental Summoning. Gain more life. Make a 4/4. Go to combat. Attack for 5. I really don't know. And I know that this is like... I know that's probably a frustrating answer. But even if you were my own father, I wouldn't know how to respond to that question. That's really the kind of situation that I'm in here. So I'm probably going to start looting to see if I can't hit another Black Source and a Rise of Extus, because I really only have one turn to do that. Opponent goes to combat. I have everything I want. I have everything that other people have possibly the power to grant me that I want. Yes. The things that I want are things that also cannot be granted. So we're taking 6, possibly 8. Let's go ahead and loot. Witherbloom Campus. That's not good enough. I have to get rid of that. Uh, um... I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to talk to you about it later, probably. Um, so let's loot again. Needlethorn Drake is a big deal. Vortex Runner is unblockable. But Elemental Summoning gains us a life. You're half right. I'm getting drained for... Okay, I'm actually just dead, so I'm not going to show my opponent anymore. So we got to go to game 3. There were... Like, I had some snarky responses, but also... okay, we can bring in Tangle Trap because my opponent has a lot of flyers. The question is, what is it better than? And it's better than Spined Karok. Snarky responses, welcome. I would like a castle in the middle of nowhere where I can be eccentric and dress in goth clothes every day and not be judged. This is a good opener. So play an island. Done, castle. I half expect a picture of a small sand castle. We'll play Soothsayer Adept. Is that with or without Wi-Fi? Paper Castle. You gonna send him Lochthwain? Being the bigger man is respectable. We can save snarky responses for post-styling on people. Okay, I'm pretty glad we drew the Pledge Mage. We're going to play the Campus and pass. We have the option of Tangle Trap, but my opponent does have those other flyers, which are actually a bigger deal. So I'm going to see if I can't force them to make the Poet fly. And I guess I have to use the Tangle Trap for the first time. They pay the life. If they don't, we just block. Yeah, I'm going to do this. We untap. Draw an island. Go to combat. I will be able to cast Rise of Exodus this game, which is awesome. Hit our opponent for 1. Like, this curve is incredible if I draw 1 more land. Like, it's still really good, but it would be incredible. Looking forward to your responses in our DMs. Okay, opponent's got a Spiteful Squad, which we will be able to kill, which is good. We get a Tezzeret's Gambit. Play an island. Let's play the Pledge Mage here. And then we'll pass. And if we draw a land, opponent is going to be having a very sad time. What game are we playing? This is game 3. We won game 1 pretty hard. Opponent plays Spectre of the Fens. We untap. Draw Augmenter Pugilist. I'm going to cast Gambit, and I'm going to pay life for it. Because if I draw an untapped land this way, I can play Pugilist this turn. So let's draw some cards. We are not proliferating that. Play an island. Play the Pugilist. Next turn we have our premium removal spell. And opponent, Sadness. Must mean Moto. Opponent plays a Swamp. And a Dueling Coach putting a counter on Spectre of the Fens. Oh man, and we can Biblioplexus Assistant to get back Rise of Extus? That's crazy. We draw Quandrix Campus. Play the Campus. Rise of Extus. Put back... Oh no, I don't want to exile any cards out of my grave. That was almost a punt because I didn't realize what I was doing. But not quite. So we get rid of their Death Touch. Let's tutor up, I think, Environmental Sciences. Just to guarantee we get to 8 lands and turn on our Pugilist. It also gains us life. Go to combat. And I am going to attack with both the Professor and the Witherbloom Pledge Mage at this turn. Backspace, backspace, backspace. I feel like I dodged an angry rant somehow. Y'all are great. Opponent expels the Pledge Mage. Okay. We untap. Oh, they got something on their own end step. Closing arguments to take care of the Augmenter Pugilist. That's pretty good. So we untap. We draw Cram Session. So we can Environmental Sciences. This gets us up to 8 lands, which is important for a few other things. Get a forest. Gain life. Play the forest. Play Biblioplex Assistant. Actually, I'm not going to show them that. Go to combat. Attack and offer the trade. Opponent does not take it. Perfect. They go to 4. So we play the Assistant. We put Rise of Extus on top of our deck. And I think I just Cram Session here. And we can learn Elemental Summoning. Pass the turn. So opponent untaps, they play a land. They play a Campus Guide. They put a Plains on top of their deck. That tells me they got that Wrath. We untap. Draw Rise of Extus. So we're going to exile Spectre the Fens and their closing statement. They probably have the 8-mana Wrath. So we're going to learn our other elemental summoning here, so we have like a board state post-Wrath potentially. Go to combat. We just swing out too. Because they have to have something to just not die here. Because they could block here and... Oh, I guess they would go to 1, but... Swinging out. They're dead to Biblioplex Assistant next turn unless they draw something. Okay. They set up a semi-profitable block. And go to 1. Okay. They've got a Convoke spell. Oh, no. Dueling Coach is just capable of upgrading itself. I forgot. I forgot that card had other text on it. They untap. They draw planes. And they scoop. Well, we got there, round one. All right. I'm going to go ahead and restart the client yet again. And then we will play round two. Moto is a quality program. It leaks memory like there's no tomorrow, but apparently nobody else experiences this. It's whatever like my particular GPU architecture is. And Clayton and one other person who I don't remember off the top of my head have sent me a list of parts that I need to get to build my next desktop. But I decided to pay off all of my debt prior to doing that, so that's the next big purchase, followed by then saving for a house. So hopefully there will come a day when Moto doesn't lag like hell on my machine anyway. You'll have a house by then? Oh, I hope not. Is that like the tentative plan for home ownership is like I save across the next year, maybe have enough for a down payment by the end of it, with some smart investments and proper savings, and then buy a house at the end of the year. But the more realistic plan is in 2 years, have enough for the house to put down a down payment anyway. Because at the end of this lease, I'm planning on moving back to be nearer to my family. Seems like a good opener. We'll keep. This does guarantee we get to 6 mana if we get to cast all of our spells. Oh, actually, no, it doesn't. I thought this was the ramp spell for some reason. Lead on Forest. Pass the turn. Opponent plays Lorehold Campus. We draw Wormhole Serpent. Play an island. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Plains. Plays a Stonerise Spirit. We untap and draw a Forest. Play a Forest. Pass the turn. We're probably going to divide by 0 whatever they play. So opponent plays a Blood Age General off curve. Yeah, put that back in your hand. And let's get Environmental Sciences. They play Guiding Voice. So they do get to learn here. It's probably Spirit Summoning or Inkling Summoning, if I had to guess. Otherwise, it's one of the colorless lessons. Oh. That is also reasonable. We take 2. Untap, draw Spined Karok. Play an island. Play the Bear Fesser. Pass the turn. So next turn, we could play the swamp, Environmental Sciences for another swamp, and play Spined Karok. Opponent plays a mountain. Heated Debate to kill the Professor. Attacks us for 2. We take 2. Go to 16. Or I can play Wormhole Serpent. But I would really rather have access to this Rise of Extus soon. So I think what I'm going to do is lead on Environmental Sciences, get a swamp, play the swamp, go to combat, attack for 1. Do I play the Karok or do I play the Needlethorn Drake? I think the Karok here. This is more mana efficient. Potentially, if we get up to 7 mana, just by drawing lands, we can play Wormhole Serpent and Needlethorn in the same turn. Also, by playing the Lay of the Land spell first, I effectively hid the fact I'm holding another swamp. So opponent attacks us for 2 in the air. We go to 16. We untap. Draw forest. Play swamp. Exile. Exile. And we will learn. Conjuration is very tempting. So is Elemental Summoning. I think I'll take the Summoning. Go to combat. Attack them for 3. They have not gotten to replay that Blood Age General. Opponent untaps. They cast this, and we exiled it. They play a land. They go to combat, attack us for 2. No blocks. We go to 14. And then they pass. We untap. Draw Soothsayer Adept. Play a forest. Now I can either play Needlethorn Drake and Wormhole Serpent, or I can Wormhole Serpent, or I can play Elemental Summoning. I don't have 3 blue, so I can't cast the Drake and the Summoning or the Soothsayer Adept into Summoning. So I think what we do is we attack and play the Serpent and the Drake. Attack for 3. Opponent did not replay that 2/2 we know they're holding, so they have some kind of big combat trick, or some kind of big trick or big instant, or they really need to start scrying. Play the Serpent. I'm playing this way to play around Mana Tithe. Scrying is reasonable, but it feels like they're pretty far behind. Yes, we had a kind of... The excitement was right at the beginning of the stream this time. And I'll be working on that application for that as soon as I'm done streaming today. Lorehold command? Is that a instant? So yeah, it was the scry. If they have a Day of Judgment, I'm going to feel a bit silly. It is an instant. Okay. They had the Wrath. I knew they were holding back for something. Well, if we draw an island, we can play both of our creatures. We untap and draw Snakeskin Veil. Play our 4/4, pass the turn. We can at least protect it. For 5 mana, Lorehold command should have had Split Second. Oh my gosh. I think the problem with the command cycle is they undercosted the original command cycle. Parts of it, I should say. Stonebound Mentor. So opponent gets a 3/3. And a Blood Age General. Okay. Well, I can Snakeskin Veil to trade, but I don't really want to do that. We draw Witherbloom Campus, so play that. Play Soothsayer Adept. And pass the turn. I actually meant, like, Cryptic Command. I completely forgot the, Tarkir commands, the 2-color ones. But, like, Lorehold... I don't remember all of the modes on Lorehold command, but it's kind of on the order of Ojutai's command or Silumgar command, isn't it? In terms of power level. So opponent gets to pick up Stonerise Spirit. And they get to scry. Because, like, Silumgar's command is actually pretty decent. The problem is... exclamation point card. For Twitch. Good night, Sissia. Thanks for stopping by. The opponent is attacking for 3. We're going to risk this. I think they have a Make Your Mark. Snakeskin Veil. Choose to make a 3/2 Spirit. Creatures you control get 1/0, Indestructible, and Haste. Lightning Helix, and then sack a permanent and draw. I think that's actually okay. It's definitely one of the lower power commands. I don't think anybody's going to argue that. We untap. We draw an island. Loot. Vortex Runner. Perfect. Pitch Island. Play Vortex Runner. Should have attacked first, but what can you do? Go to combat. Smack him for 5. Opponent goes down to 8. I think it's definitely a standard playable card. Because, like, that kind of effect is a good top end for a Boros aggro deck. Like, if you make a 4/2 by using the creatures you control get 1/0 Indestructible and Haste, it's effectively a Spark Trooper. Like, the whole Anthem Your Guys type deal. The Lightning Helix is pretty good. You just got past a mascot exhibition. Wow, exhibition. Kano, what kind of words you speaking? I think that card is really good and limited. So I hope that works out for you, Jamotron. Yeah, we gotta play the Pledge Mage here. Pass the turn. Put it in your Bluetron sideboard. It's a lesson, no? I don't think that card is good enough. I think literally the only playable cards in Bluetron for sideboard are the Lay of the Land spell and Introduction to Annihilation. Those are the only 2 you could reasonably justify. Alright, opponent draws a card. Plays a Lorehold Excavation. They go to combat. I feel like for limited Intro to Annihilation should have been an uncommon. Maybe. I could see that being a thing. It's not like utterly broken or anything, but it is pretty good. Okay, opponent gives attacking creatures 1/0. So we need to find enough damage to kill our opponent this turn, or a way to gain enough life that it doesn't matter. So we get to scry. I think I'd actually prefer the deal damage mode. Okay. So on their end step, we scry 1. Quandrix Campus to the bottom. Does Rise of Extus do it? I don't think so. I need like Cram Session to gain enough life that I don't die. I think I need to not scry here. Witherbloom Pledge Mage. Loot. What is the back half of this card? Choose target creature you control. Each other creature becomes a copy until end of turn. Alright. I don't want to show my opponent either of those cards. So I'm going to scoop. So they win game 1. Versus their deck. They do have some flyers, so I think Tangle Trap is in order here. And I think it's better than the Karok. Run it back. We know they have the Wrath now. We're not going to play into it, especially if they take a turn off to scry. Because me playing into that Wrath is definitely what lost me that game. Oh, well, that's good. I think just for Intro to Annihilation, though, it's really important to remember that draw a card, your opponent draws a card is a very, very real cost. Because this format is a lot about trading resources because of the nature of the learn mechanic. Alright, I'll play first. I will keep this. Yeah, no, there are definitely cards where it's worth casting it, right? And being able to get it out of your sideboard and not have to worry about it being in the main deck is huge. Alright. Opponent plays a Plains, passes. We draw a Witherbloom Pledge Mage. So play an island. Cram Session. Let's get Environmental Science. Pass turn. Next turn we Field Trip. Opponent plays a Leonin Light Scribe. Okay, that's pretty good. We draw a Needlethorn Drake. Do we take a turn off? I think we do. I think that card is important to kill. Opponent goes to combat and passes. Then plays a land. And plays a Stonebound Mentor. We untap, draw Vortex Runner. Play Swamp. Play Vortex Runner. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Plays a mountain. Heated Debate to kill the 1/1. Pumps their team. Okay. They go to combat. They probably attack for 7. Yeah. Alright, we take 7. Go down to 17. Untap. Draw Wormhole Serpent. Play Environmental Sciences. Get an island. Play an island. Field Trip. Get a forest. And then I think honestly it's another Environmental Sciences because we really want to be making our land drops. Go to combat. We're going to get in for 2 because we need to start putting damage on our opponent. We have a bit of life gain. So I'm not super worried. I want to get up to 8 so I can turn on the Vortex Runner and then have an 8/8 with Trample for 3. Opponent plays a Plains. So if we draw a land, the plan is to play Witherbloom, Pledge Mage, and Environmental Sciences, provided the land's untapped. Yeah. Yeah, that's correct. If we can actually get like 2 lands in a row and get up to 9 mana, then we can play Wormhole Serpent and make Augmenter Pugilist unblockable, or Pledge Mage, and really get in for a lot of damage. Opponent plays Augusta, Dean of Order. That is a pretty good card. It's effectively an Anthem here. So they untap their creatures. They can have them back on blocks, or they can have them tapped for extra damage. They have them tapped. We take 7 and go to 12. Augusta is a 1/3. Okay, we untap, draw Snakeskin Veil. So play Witherbloom, Pledge Mage. New plan. Pass the turn. We've got to kill that Anthem creature. And by that I mean Leon and Light Scribe. Card is just way too much value. Okay. Opponent plays a Plains. Opponent Rise of Extus, exiling Field Trip. So we get to Snakeskin Veil, counter the important half of that card, and we gain a life. Opponent pumps their team. They still get to learn, though. That's what's really good about this card, is even if you have a trick like this, you still get a card out of it. Like, you still get to exile a card in graveyard, provided there is one to exile. Because a spell is only countered if all of its targets are not valid on resolution. So that's why it's important to, even if you don't think you need to, you should probably target something in the grave with that card. Opponent gets Expanded Anatomy. We untap. Draw our own Rise of Extus. So we take out the Light Scribe and their Rise of Extus. Gain a life. Pick up Elemental Summoning. Opponent gets to scry. So next turn we can Environmental Science and cast Elemental Summoning. Go to combat, attack for 6. This is dangerous, attacking like this. But we know our opponent's probably going to cast Expanded Anatomy next turn anyway. So we may have to sacrifice our Vortex Runner as an effective blocker. Opponent is going to trade off their Dean, because they don't want to take the hit. That probably means they have Expel, in which case they're spending all of their mana on Expel and Expanded Anatomy. All of these cards having weird Academia-themed names. Yeah. I feel you there, Jod. Also welcome. We did hit 1,000 on YouTube, by the way, buddy. Officially. Like, I got the offer from YouTube. I'm going to be looking at it after this stream. Super stoked about that. So opponent did not play Expanded Anatomy. Do they have another Rise of Extus? They have their Wrath. Okay. Thanks, buddy. And yes, it is. I'm super excited. I'm a real content creator now. So we untap, draw an island. Play an island. Environmental Science. Get a forest. Play Augmenter Pugilist. Pass the turn. Kano gonna be famous, then he can't go out for hot dogs no more. Bone Daddy probably has 950 fake email accounts. I mean, that's impressive. He's got to be multi-boxing for me to get my watch metrics. And as many hours as is being watched right now. I was actually really surprised. The average view time on my videos is something like 20 to 25 minutes, depending on the video. Sometimes it's a bit less. Sometimes it's like down to 15. But when you consider the people who like click on and click off versus the people who watch the entire hour-ish of content, that's pretty good. And I'm glad that people enjoy my content enough. If Kano gets real famous, he can have hot dogs delivered straight to his door. Is that a euphemism? Opponent has a Pigment Storm. Oh, I didn't wait till I had 8 lands to play him. Ouch. I was gonna say mouth. Oh, boy. Play Witherbloom Campus. Play Elemental Summoning. Pass the turn. Yeah, I should not have played out that Augmented Pugilist. I think I should have played out one of my other spells. Because playing it as an 8/8 versus a guy that has damage removal is not great. What abomination did you unleash upon the world, Judd? Because I may or may not be able to do you one better. chicken breast, topped it with low-carb pasta sauce, fat-free mozzarella, and turkey bacon. That actually sounds delicious. Put a place Pillar Drop Rescuer, picking up probably the Dean, I imagine. Yep. Nice. My lunch before lifting was 20 ounces of 96% beef, a cup of rice, and I had a can of soup that I poured over the rice and made kind of like a risotto type deal. Like, I don't know what the word means. Everybody yell at me if I'm wrong, because you will anyway, but it was pretty good. Alright, make the elemental unblockable, because this is a face race now. Six Sigma would know. I'm actually getting hungry now, which sucks, because I'm kind of at my calorie limit for the day. I can probably eat just a little bit more, but it's got to be something pretty light. Opponent plays a land. I'm hoping they use this expanded anatomy, and then we get to Rise of Extus something. Rice cakes, no toppings. Rice cakes is just carbs, though. Opponent plays a Lorehold Excavation. You must suffer for your transgressions. What happens at 50k skulls? Nothing yet. I will never be drinking egg whites again. I recently discovered that that's basically one of the things that was killing my stomach. Yes, I used to drink egg whites, pasteurized egg whites, directly from Costco. Drink them. 50 grams of protein a carton. You need protein? It's a good way to get it. It's just like slightly salty water, and it's only 250 calories for 50 grams of protein. It's really not that bad. It's not like the white directly off an egg. That would be bad. But we untap and draw an island. Play an island. Rise of Extus will take out the Pillar Drop Warden and the Wrath. Think I'd rather just eat food. The problem is there's only so much food you can eat in a day, and if you're trying to bulk and be huge, your only option is to, like... yeah, you could cook them, but then they take up more room in your stomach. So I could actually take Containment Breach here and kill Lorehold Excavation, and I'm gonna. That gives me a Pest as a blocker. I was originally going to get Basic Conjuration and try and dig and gain life, but this is better. Hardboil pasteurized egg whites. Can you do that? Would that work? Sounds good, Sigma. You enjoy your sleep, alright? Thanks for showing up. It's good to have you. Yes, the birthday stream. Uh-oh. What's opponent got? They have swords, so we gain a bunch 4. The birthday stream has been announced in the Discord. The birthday stream will be next Tuesday, and then I will stream Wednesday after the birthday stream. I might have to cut this league short. I'm getting eye holes bored in the side of my head by a certain brown dog from the top of the steps. Double duty. Yep, double duty. Opponent plays a Stonebinder's Familiar. It's almost 10 here. You usually finish up by now. Yeah, sometimes I go a little bit later. Although, I usually try and stream for about 4 hours. But you know, if I start at 6, I generally cut it short, like have a 2-hour or a 3-hour stream. So opponent is attacking with Augusta. All right. I am going to chump with the Pest. I don't think they can have any edicts. This will gain me a life and help offset the clock. My opponent has used a ton of their clock here. We untap, draw Serpentine Curve. So make Wormhole Serpent unblockable. Go to combat. Attack them for 3. They go to 8. This should be a relatively large spell. Serpentine Curve. We get a 10-10. Oh yeah, relatively large. I didn't even count. Didn't even bother counting. Next turn, we just make that unblockable and kill them. Is there a smite effect? Like destroy target blocking creature in this format? And they basically have this draw step to find something. Yeah, the expel. All right, we got there. Opponent has 5 minutes for game 3. No adjustments. We just run it back. That Snakeskin Veil actually saved us. Yeah, probably what I'll do is I'll record this last limited match and stick it on to the end of the VOD. Or upload it separate, depending on which is easier. Thanks for stopping by, Recall 33. Good to have you. Sleep well, buddy. They are taking their time with the sideboard. Maybe they're roping. Not likely. All right, this is a good hand. We'll keep. Got a good curve. They only have 5 minutes to lose to your big beefers. True. They start with Lorehold Campus. We draw an island. We start Witherbloom Campus. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Plains. They play a Stonebinder's Familiar. We untap, draw a swamp, play an island, play Needlethorn Drake, pass the turn. So if we draw a 3-drop that isn't Letter of Acceptance that we can play, we'll play it, because on turn 4, we can play Letter of Acceptance and Cram Session. Opponent goes to combat, attacks for 1. We'll take 1. It's not worth trading off the Drake for just yet. We go to 19. Then they play a Stonebound Mentor. So I will block that, given the option. We untap. Draw a Pledge Mage. Perfect. Play an island. Play the Pledge Mage. Pass the turn. No attacks. Not going to run into an Expel here. Opponent plays a land. They go to combat. They attack for 1. No blocks. They play a Stonerise Spirit. We untap. Draw Tezzeret's Gambit. Play a Swamp. Play Letter of Acceptance. Welcome back, Orfeo. Cram Session. Let's get... Elemental Summoning. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They play a mountain. They play Augusta. They go to combat and attack. And untap. Then retap. Alright. I am going to offer the trades here. If they have a way to exile, like Swords Are Needle, Thorn Drake, they can then trade here. They have Beaming Defiance. So that's an even trade. And we trade here as well. Alright. Untap. Opponent is basically out of cards, though. We're about to play a 4-4 or a 5-5. Play an island. Let's play the Bear Professor. Pass the turn. This should trade with their creature pretty much regardless. I could have played out the Wormhole Serpent and maybe had a better block. Only losing to a combat trick, but this is fine. This guarantees that they don't like just untap and then push or whatever. Professore Bear. I think even if my opponent wasn't about to time out, we would probably beat them here. Alright, we win the match. We are 2-0. I'll probably end up sticking the last match footage onto the end of this, or uploading it as a separate partial VOD. But I've got to get going, because I've got a few things I need to do before bed. And I really appreciate everybody showing up. Jod, Orfeo, Dick Record, Late Night Gang. Thanks again to Oh That Sean for subscribing with Prime, as well as Mixum CZ and Kenzareth for following, as well as Schlongus the Hedgehog for following. I'm gonna laugh every time I think about that. Good night, Orfeo. Good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Finally made it to the 1,000 YouTube subscribers. It's been a really good stream. And I'll be happy to see you guys on my birthday. Good night. Good morning, everybody. We're going to be finishing off the draft league we started during the stream. I don't know if I'm going to tack it on to the stream or if this is going to be a separate upload, single game, bonus video, but we are going to keep this. A single forest gets us to literally every card in our hand. Opponent did mulligan to 6 and leads on a tap land. We draw a swamp. Well, that eventually gets us to everything in our hand. So we're going to lead on island. I was really surprised, by the way, playing this deck on stream, how crazy good it was. And splashing for Rise of Extus is absolutely worth it if you're already sort of in the colors you need to be in. So we're going to lead on Needlethorn Drake, pass the turn. Next turn, probably going to end up playing Spined Karok. Yeah, definitely going to play Spined Karok. Opponent didn't attack with their menace creature. Alright, play a Swamp. Go with the Karok. Next turn, we can play Island, Letter of Acceptance, Needlethorn Drake. Might as well get in for one now. Hit opponent down to 19. They untap. I really can't get over how much I love this format. And, like, I liked Kaldheim. And I liked... I mean, Zendikar was okay, but this, on the other hand, is just, like, a ton of fun. It's absolutely the limited format that I want to be playing right now. Go to Cram Session, play an Island, play Letter of Acceptance, play Needlethorn Drake, go to combat, attack for 1, take our opponent to 18, they untap, play a Forest, they play an Overgrown Arch, 2-mana Defender with tap, gain a life. You can also sack it to learn. Interesting. We draw an island. So we can get a forest tapped and we can learn. I'm trying to remember what spells we have that we can learn. So we can learn Environmental Sciences. We can learn the Elemental Summoning. Conjuration. They don't have any artifacts or enchantments to destroy. I think we field trip this turn. So we get a forest. And I think we go with the Conjuration. Because we have a lot of spells we would like to actually draw. Or a lot of creatures, I mean. The life gain's going to be fine too. So go to combat. They're probably just going to block with the Skurrid Colony to kill one of the 1/1s, and that's fine. They don't. That's interesting. Play an island. Play Needlethorn Drake. Pass the turn. Ah, yes. Mono Drake aggro. Opponent plays a land. Plays Karok Wrangler. Well, that needs to die if at all possible. There it is. So, Rise of Extus. We will not be exiling anything out of our grave. Oh, whoops. Get rid of Karok Wrangler. Go with Elemental Summoning. Because just building more of a board state's kind of where we want to be. Opponent's going to gain 1 life, sure. Attack with the Drakes. Opponent goes to 14. They untap. Three mana. So ideally next turn we draw another land, can start with basic Conjuration, and then play Elemental Summoning if we don't have something we immediately want to play. Opponent attacks with their 1/1 with Menace. Sure. We untap. We draw another Rise of Extus. Alright, go to combat. Attack with the 1/1s. I could Rise of Exodus to kill the Scurrid colony, but I would rather them trade and hit a higher value creature, I think. Because while this does slow our clock significantly, target creature gains indestructible. We lose a life, they gain a life. That's fine-ish. So... Elemental Summoning. Cram Session. We'll gain life. I think we get another Elemental Summoning. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Hunt for specimens, so they get to learn. They make a pest. Okay. They get pest summoning. So they're going to play pest summoning here. Yep. Okay, they drain us again. They make more pests. They gain 1 life at sorcery speed for some reason. So we untap. Draw an island. Basic Conjuration. I wouldn't mind Vortex Runner here, or... I mean, I guess nothing's fine, too. We can go with nothing. Play an island. Go to combat. I am going to swing with the Elemental token, because my opponent has to at least double block to kill it, and they probably are going to triple or quadra block, so... Okay, they just chump. Then they gain 1 after taking 2. Elemental Summoning. Pass the turn. Next turn we can clear the way with Rise of Exodus if we need to. I'm running out of lessons to learn. But this shows you how powerful, like, all of these learn spells are, because we've cast so many more spells than our opponent. And even if they're only, like, incremental advantage, yeah. Opponent didn't even get to see the other Rise of Exodus, so as far as they know, we only have 1. I don't think we make any adjustments. I think we just run it back. That was a really, really good show for this deck. Alright, I like this. We will keep. Opponent leads on a tap land. They also kept 7 this time. We draw land, lead on island, pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Plays a forest. They do have a 2-drop. It's an arch. Not particularly scared of the arch. We draw Witherbloom Campus. We're going to play that because we only have 3 drops. Lots of lands right now. Opponent plays a swamp. Into Dina, Soul Steeper. Okay. So Arch plus Dina equals us getting drained every turn. I don't know why they're activating this at sorcery speed. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter because there's not a lot we could do, but... Play Quandrix Pledge Mage. Okay, pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They get a Witherbloom Apprentice, so their intent is to drain us out here. Cast Field Trip. Counter here. Get a forest. We'll go ahead and learn. What are we going to learn? Basic Conjuration is tempting, but I think I got to go with Elemental Summoning. Go to combat. I am going to attack. Okay, no blocks for the opponent. This does let them get in for damage, though. Play an island, pass the turn. Next turn we can either Vortex Runner and Soothsayer Adept, or we can cast Elemental Summoning. And I'm leading towards Elemental Summoning because I want this creature to be bigger. And another large body on the board to pressure my opponent's board. They play a Spectre of the Fens, which is a 2/3 with flying. They drain us for 1 with Dina. They hit us for 3, sure. We go to 14. Untap. Draw an island. Play a forest. Counter on the Pledge Mage. Make a 4/4. Go to combat. Hit them for 4. Opponent goes to 16. They untap. Plumb the Forbidden. So they don't sack any creatures as part of its additional cost. Then they Deadly Brew. Drain us again. They have to sack a permanent, and so do we. So we sack the Elemental, because the Quandrix Pledge Mage can still get larger. I didn't see what my opponent actually got back off Deadly Brew there. They hit us for 2, we go down to 8. We untap, draw Biblioplex Assistant. So, play an island. Go to combat. Hit them for 4. And no blocks for the opponent. They go down to 13. Play the Vortex Runner, because that will be unblockable next turn. Opponent gains a life. We drain 1. And Biblioplex Assistant. I am going to put the Learn spell Field Trip on top of the deck because we are going to need to tutor for one of our spells that gains us life out of the sideboard in order to stay in this game. Opponent untaps. Four mana. Opponent plays a Daemogoth Woe Eater. They drain us for 1. No attacks. Alright, we untap. We draw the Learn spell. Cast Field Trip. forest. Yeah, we get basic conjuration here, I think. Play an island. Do the conjuration thing. Counter on the pledge mage. Let's see. We're gonna take Augmenter Pugilist. Then play Soothsayer Adept. And I think, actually, if we Echoing Equation on Vortex Runner, we kill our opponent next turn. Because of all of the 1/1 counters here, and our whole team is just unblockable. So we attack for 3, no blocks, because they can't. Hit them to 12. Pass to our opponent. They have to sack a creature. They probably gain 1 life in response, and then sack the Overgrown Arch. They can force us to block. If they sack the Woe Eater, we discard the forest. They do. Okay. Discard forest. Opponent gains life, drains us. Plays a land. 5 mana. Witherbloom Pledge Mage. That does not do it. So they can gain up to 15. Are they dead? We draw Cram Session. So this is 5 mana. I think they're dead. Because we can put a bunch of 1/1 counters on this. And then we can clone Vortex Runner. And that'd be 3, 6, 9. A lot. So lead on Cram Session. Counter here. It's very nice of our opponent to tap out, so we know that they don't have a trick here. So we go ahead and learn. Get Environmental Science. Cast Environmental Science, counter here. We get another island. Play the island. And Echoing Equation, choose Vortex Runner. Counter here. Go to combat. Swing for 19, can't be blocked. That's sick. Oh man. This card is broken. Augmenter Pugilist is broken. Has a really good front side and a very relevant backside in limited. But hey, we ended up winning. So, hope you guys enjoyed this little extra bonus game, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!